Now it's going. All right, who would like to go first? Belba, do you want to introduce yourself and your character and maybe something from one of the adventures that you really liked? Oh, can't hear you.
Sure. Thank you. My name is Belba Gamgee, and that means I'm a relative of Sam Gamgee. And I'm a 20, well, let's see, she is like 37, similar age to myself. Um, kind of just a middle-aged, sorry, I think she's like a young woman, hobbit, because they run a little older. And she's very adventurous, more skilled than she knew she was. So she's always trying to embrace that she thought she was more of a damsel or someone who's like less competent, but now she's learning her true inner strength and outer angelity. And one of those times was when she was kind of hesitant to jump on a log in the middle of a river, but she's a natural born sailor apparently. So she crossed that river with no problems. Um, she is also a much better singer when she's not drunk. She's found out in other stories that she's not quite as charismatic if she has too many pints of beer after a long, long, long walk into the woods. She's been a very helpful companion, and she's excited about the next adventure.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, how about Lobelia?
Um, well, Lobelia is notorious for dragons. Um, she stole some of Bilbo's spoons at one point, long ago, and she was always upset that Frodo was the one that inherited Baggin instead of Lobelia because Frodo's a more distant relative. Um, at one point, she has her little glimpse with the shadow past, but we haven't quite gotten to that place in her story. So I don't want to reveal too much, but she has children, and her sons eventually play a key role in some of the later story. And yeah, she is pretty ornery. She, I should say, I carry an umbrella, and I end up beating an orc with an umbrella because I'm awfully strong and I'm very willful. And I guess one of the fun stories is she is rather stealthy. And so last night, Aurora and I, when we were, I'm sorry, Elba and I were practicing combat, we were able to steal pints of beer from orcs because she is so stealthy. And that is it.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, how about Rory?
Yeah, I'm Rory. I'm 58. I'm a Bucklander. Um, and I'm very keen-eyed. I'm very rustic, good at kind of being aware, being very insightful, and being very stealthy. So, got a lot of experience, those sorts of things with hunting. Um, I have a rabbit skinning knife, so if you guys need somebody to skin a rabbit, I'm your man. Um, and I am soon going to inherit the title of Master of Buckland. So I have been observing Bilbo. He was gone for about a year. He came back. He had some gold. He had a twinkle in his eye. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. I'm not judging him, but so I can understand us Bucklanders have been called strange in the past as well. But if Baggins down in Bag End is up to some new strangeness, then I mean to witness it firsthand and see what's going on for myself.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. And then Paladin, what's going on with you?
All right.
Oh
Well,
yeah, and by the way, Rory is the squirrel lover, squirrel truster.
Yeah, I trust squirrels now, not at first.
they are shifty.
Yeah, they are. I was picking up my rabbit skinning knife, but didn't need to use it.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
All right. I'm Paladin took the second. I'm the eldest son of Aldegrim Took and newly settled in farmer of Whitwill. And really love adventure. A little bit of curious and headstrong, and don't care for all this new living in houses or having those modern comforts. I'm more rustic. Just a mat and just live out under the stars. That's the way to do it. And it's been a while. It's a little hazy. The last adventure I was on. That might have been because a little too much ale, but the one thing I do remember clearly is our last training session. Those axes were very ill balanced, so I wasn't able to hit the wooden dummy and those evil orcs, man. Yep.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well,
The
thanks for
weapon
sharing.
master should be fired.
And then does Basil have a story?
Yeah, so my character is Basil Northtooks. Has a small little house up in the North Farthing. He's very loves gardening and is very kind of a small time farmer. It's very quite familiar with the Gamgees and the old Gaffer. After having met them at the Green Dragon Inn after the Hobbiton Gardeners Convention. And he has a very keen eye for glittery things. And kind of had that some would call sometimes obsession. But after finding an old coin in the ground in his old barn, it really grew kind of a love for all things old and shiny and valuable. Because of his sharp eye for glittery things, occasionally has been pointed out as being somewhat of a quick hand or, Lord forbid, a burglar. But he doesn't see himself that way. He sees himself as a caretaker of forgotten things. Basil is very friendly and he values kinship with others. And after hearing of this group's adventures, thought he might give it a go to perhaps find some new forgotten and shiny things that might come along the way.
Excellent. That sounds amazing. Thanks for sharing. So we've gone on 4 adventures so far, and the first one was to the Mathing House where you recovered a map, and the second one, Bilbo, who I am dressed as tonight, and I'm burning up in this. I'm taking this off. He
very proper.
found the Bullroar Tooks club on the map, and you went to hunt that baby down. You went and found that, and actually saved little hobbit gal from a troll during that adventure. And then after that one, I believe was the oh, I'm drawing a blank all of a sudden. After oh right, then there was the fireworks debacle. And the Hobbit was shooting off, I think it was Odo that was shooting off fireworks. And so you had to retrieve those, Gandalf's fireworks, and bring those back. And you confronted a veteran orc at that time. And then after that adventure, everyone got in trouble because of all of the rumors of all of your adventures you had been on. And you were placed in a old cellar in Mickle Delving, where your adventures had began, and you were given a mysterious envelope and told to deliver it. And you walked all the way across the Shire to Farmer Maggot's farm to deliver this note, only to see Bilbo there. And so that is where we pick up at the last adventure of the Conspiracy of the Red Book, because all of this is Bilbo just wanting to write stories into his book and write you into them. So you wake in the comfortable beds at Bamfurlong Farmhouse, greeted by the scent of eggs and mushrooms cooking for a fine breakfast. The past few days have been a welcome comfort after your long journey across the Shire. Each of you gets to regain full endurance. So as you're doing that, you step out onto the porch. You see Farmer Maggot sitting on a bench under the eaves, taking a long draw from his pipe. He gazes toward a small ruined building on the far side of his wide farmlands. Chickens, he says, suddenly blowing out a long line of blue-gray smoke. It's because of my chickens I sent my letter to Master Baggins. Any hint of jest fades from his face as he leans in, his expression serious. When I saw that thing that night, blood in its teeth and fire in its eyes, I knew it was something beyond myself and other folk in East Farthing. It was a beast, I tell you, not some hungry wolf that came up from Dunlun, no. This was a black thing. Its fur had been burnt like kindling, nothing natural about it. It sent a chill down my spine. No easy task, mind you. But when I heard it growl at me, when it locked eyes with me, I saw nothing but a lust for death in its gaze. It meant to kill me and my chickens. He pauses for a moment, his face tense with the memory. I grabbed a lantern in one hand and my chopping axe in the other. If it was going to take me, I was going to go down with a fight. Before I knew what happened, it was on me, crossing the field in a bound, pinning me to the ground, snarling and slavering. Maggot's eyes glazed over in memory, and you see him tremble at the recollection. In a fit, I swung my lantern up, and it shattered, pouring oil on its muzzle. It didn't even yelp. I would say it gasped or hissed. And as the fire blazed across its face, it echoed in through the night with its wailing screech as it fled into the dark. The last thing I saw before it disappeared toward the Brandywine were those horrible fiery eyes. He set his pipe down on the bench, his gaze distant. Still out there. I swear I've seen it on the edges of Bamfurlong on more than one night since then. Those eyes burning into me from the dark. And if the stirrings from Buckland are any hint, it's causing no end of trouble over there, too. Maggot leans closer. Master Bilbo informs me that out of the Shire, you are the lot that would help for this task. I was hoping that you and your friends might help me and the Buckland folk put a stop to this foul thing's nonsense. Hunting before it gets a taste for something more than chickens, if you take my meaning. Hate to think of it. Besides, you handle this, and you'll always have a place to stay here with some warm food, and I'm sure the gratitude of Master of Buckland. Oh, we lost our party.
We did at least lost one person.
We're still here, so I think we accept, right? I mean, I'm in. I want to go find this
Yeah,
creature.
let's do it. Let's
Yeah.
let's find this
Is
mysterious
everyone-
beast.
Yeah. And I guess we just need to make sure that we're armored up. And then obviously we're going to do some more, I would like to keep scouting for it and make sure that we keep I'm going to keep my distance. But at least we could track it down and go from there.
Yeah, I don't want
Yeah.
this thing roaming around Buckland. We gotta go get it. So I agree with you. We need to get some like armor and swords and stuff like that first, though.
I'm a
Yeah.
little more inclined to find out what it is and see if we can find somebody strong that can like come with us because we're not very strong. Like one thing that I got a very strong impression when we did combat training is we're not very strong, so we shouldn't like, go out half-cocked. So even with weapons and armor, maybe. Are there wizards in town? Do we know what it is? Is it a dragon? Is it something that's not a dragon? Sounds like a dragon.
It's a good idea. Is there an inn we can go to and ask some questions? People traveling, maybe somebody else knows. Maybe somebody
Yeah.
else has seen it.
The
Yeah.
the
Maybe there's-
closest end is going to be in Bree, past Buckland. You have Hobbit ends, but if you're looking for rangers, or Bree men, if you're looking for the race of men, somebody that might be stronger or bigger, they're going to be actually past Buckland. You'll have to go that way to try to recruit.
How far is that?
Why
It
don't we find it? Let's find it at least. Maybe it's not as big, because we know we all set rumors up ourselves.
Yeah, the concern is that this beast might actually turn on hobbits. You would not be able to make it to Bree and back within a timely manner.
Pretty stealthy, so we can at least use our stealth to try to get a sense of what's going on. Get
Yeah,
close to it.
And if we need the help of men, because it's not a bad idea. Well, I mean, men are a little dangerous, but that's only what my grandmother said. So, if we know what it is, we might be able to better describe it to anybody who's going to help us, especially if Gandalf comes to town.
So, does the party agree?
Yeah, let's bring out our skillets and bake up any potatoes we have before the long walk.
But what was the farmer's name?
Farmer Maggot.
Farmer who?
Farmer Maggot.
I'd like to ask Farmer Maggot if anyone else has seen, if he knows of anyone else that's seen this beast.
Yeah, absolutely. I've heard that it's causing a ruckus across the Brandywine over in Buckland. That's
What
the
kind of
rumor, at least.
What kind of resources are in Buckland? Like, is there like a weaponry shop? Can I buy armor and things like that there?
Farmer Maggot is not really aware of the weapon arsenal in Buckland. Being a farmer, he's not super aware of what they may or may not have. Buckland is still in the Shire, so you're still working with hobbits, but these are more hardy folk type hobbits. Can be fused with well, actually the Bree hobbits can be confused with dwarves, and these are pretty close to Bree, but yeah. So you're dealing with a little bit of a hardier hobbit, but you're still going to be in the Shire.
Maybe we can recruit some people, or we can try to set up a trap for the beast.
Yeah, we know where it is. I'd like to go to the Barbary and talk to some of the town folk there and see if we can learn anything else.
Well, good. It sounds like there is an accord. Now, I've only seen the beast at night, and the last time I saw it, it was near the Buckleberry Ferry. Those reports from across the Brandywine, trouble over there too. Not sure how it'd be crossing the river and getting back so quickly, but that's where I would start looking for the beast. He hands you a basket filled with various mushrooms, a few seed biscuits, and after a few more goodbyes and bewares, he sends you off finally to begin your walk towards the Buckleberry Ferry. If you are lucky, you'll get to the ferry before nightfall. The day is a pleasant walk with happy stomachs and blue skies. By all accounts, a perfect day in the Shire for a walk. Restore one hope if you're not at your max. So a beautiful day for a walk with mushrooms and all kinds of biscuits. The trip up the causeway to Buckleberry Ferry has been an easy one, but as night slowly introduces its veil, the air feels strangely still. No hobbits are seen outside on their farms in the Marish, and no children are catching fireflies. An hour later, about halfway to the ferry, you feel a growing sense of dread creeping in. The dusk is gone, and the eerie quiet has settled over you and your party. You hear nothing but the crunch of rocks underfoot and the stillness in the air. Everyone is glancing nervously into the brush or off into the distance. The cool of the evening seeps into your bones. You know you are being watched. I need everybody to take an awareness check. And remember, you get that 12-sided dice too.
Paladin got a
We have a
15.
I did really well. I like knocked it out of the park with two penguins.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I am
And
not
above
aware.
20. Oh.
Almost aware, but I'm not.
So I get 212 and then 26. So I rolled a 17.
Yeah.
My TN's 14.
Excellent. So we got 3 passes. And Basil, how'd you do?
I got a 9, but I also got a Gandalf rune.
Oh, automatic success. So all we needed was 1 success for the whole party. So sometimes 1 person can be enough. Only even the smallest person can make a change. So Rory and Paladin and Basil and Bella, you both look over off into these trees that are next to a little hobbit house, and they tap lobelia so that you can see it. You spot something. It flash of black tail disappearing behind the house. Or maybe it was just the moonlight reflecting, or you could have seen the moonlight reflecting off fangs in the forest. Was it your imagination, or did you actually see something? So you saw something maybe, but maybe it was just your imagination because it's getting dark out. At last, go ahead.
Am I the only one that sees a frozen screen on Lore Master?
Oh, maybe.
It froze for us too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Correct.
Let me see if I can fix that really quickly. Sorry, my
I don't know if that's worth stopping, but
no, that's fine. I appreciate that. So we will do.
The other guy.
Yeah, slow up. Or go down.
We'll just.
I also had a little hiccup in audio. You said that we barely saw a black tail out of the corner of our eye.
I opened up the combat. It's here. But there was one
Yeah, you saw a red eye.
And that was the other one. That was
Red eye and a
Or
black
the play reference.
yeah, you saw the this is weird. My camera is just dead. Okay. Well, we'll just do this. Will take me out. There we go. Is that better? Sorry, guys. All right, so we'll go ahead and
That
continue.
actually doesn't work that way, I don't think.
Oh, am I still in there?
It doesn't show the cool little map thing that you had earlier.
Oh, it doesn't?
It's not. Not on my screen.
Yeah.
We don't
Not in
see
ours
it.
either. Looks like you took away your
Yeah, tech break
OBS
for you to
filter.
fix that. Your map's gone, our placement's gone. You're in
Oh,
tech
that's really a
overload.
bummer.
Yes.
Just because here, how's this? Is that better?
Yes.
Let
It's
me
a
try
little
one
pixel.
thing.
I think it's loading in.
Okay, well, we'll just move forward even though I am frozen. Can you guys see at least the map now?
We see 3 hobbits.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then we will take me and move me out of here.
You don't look funny. It's not like a weird frozen pose where you like look really odd.
Yeah, if you guys don't mind and just give me a second, I could probably fix it. I just don't want to waste everybody's time while I goof around with this. Probably in here. That's so weird. I don't know. Okay, well, we'll continue, okay?
Yes, sir.
Is what you're looking for. Yeah.
I think we lost Belba though.
Yeah, she's heading back upstairs.
It's kind of a neat cheat sheet to see what each of these just so you mind what they can do.
Yeah. Or just gives you ideas
Yeah.
that anything that can sort of kind of fit in there.
Mhm.
You can probably do.
Yeah. I should print these off for next time, probably.
Yeah, they're handy.
Yeah, I should do that next time.
Oh, there we are. I'm back, and I think is Belba here? All right. So, so you saw maybe some red eyes, or maybe there were fangs, red fangs reflecting from the moonlight, um, as you're walking down the causeway off to the left, and some trees next to a house. And you are just about, you're almost to the Buckleberry Ferry. You can see it. So it's off in the distance, the square floating platform ahead. Unfortunately, there's no ferryman tending it. The water looks calm, the stars shine brightly overhead. You breathe a sigh of relief, but your comfort is interrupted by the sound of a chattering snarl and the sight of burning red eyes rising from the ditch on the causeway behind you. It may have once been a dog or a wolf, but its fur is burnt and stiff, the color of cold ash. Its predatory confidence is unnerving, and it grows more assured with each step. The creature remains silent as it moves towards you. No footfalls, just the quiet of its approach. Nearly as tall as a hobbit at the shoulder, it snarls, reveals its white fangs stained pink as it breaks into a charge toward you.
Is it running up from behind us or off to the side?
It's coming from behind you,
Oh
and the
no.
Buckleberry Ferry's in front of you.
So it's nighttime. Do we have any light sources?
Any light sources? No,
Like
not
a
that
light up?
I'm. No. You have mushrooms and some biscuits. If you've eaten some of them, though, I would suppose.
It's kind of like fight or flight at this point, or like throw food at it to see if it eats the food.
Yeah, let's do that.
Good idea. And then run towards the platform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we found it, which we wanted to do, but I don't think we want to fight it at this point. Just
No,
Yeah.
we need like a net or something. I could.
yeah, we gotta
I'm
find.
actually
Yeah.
okay at craft,
Don't have
but
time
I'm
to
not
make
too great.
anything though.
Yeah.
So we'll get onto the ferry and we'll come back, right? Now we know it's a dog. Crazy, big, weird,
Yeah.
evil dog. We'll-
Evil something on 4 legs.
It's really big.
Yeah.
Very unnatural dog. Anyone have any chicken?
We were rushed off before we can get any.
So I think that's the consensus, right? We throw some biscuits and run.
Yeah.
All right. So you've got,
Yep.
I would say, probably from your journey, maybe 2 biscuits left. That sounds about right. That's
Per person or total?
I would say total. You had a basket for the day, and so you've got about 2 biscuits and a couple mushrooms left. So if you'd like to throw those and run, I think what I would like is for let's do
Real quick,
a
how far away are we from the platform?
you're probably a good 20, 30, 40-ish feet away.
Is
So
the ferry
what
there, or is it?
yeah, it's there. It's just floating there. The water's still, so it's waiting. There's no ferryman though. So what we'll need is for somebody to choose to throw the biscuits, and I think I'm gonna have them just do a hunting check on that. And then everybody, including the person throwing it, can do an athletics check to see if they can make it to the ferry.
See, I have 0 athletics, so maybe I should stand and intimidate it because I have a lot of awe.
Yeah, that might be interesting. I'm favoring hunting with 1 pip.
I'd do anything that
So-
you said if you were mad enough.
I've got 2 pips, but I don't have the extra 12-sided die. Favored. Do you want to throw? Who wants to throw? Somebody's got to throw.
Yeah. I'll throw for hunting, I guess.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see if we've got this right. Basil, do you have anything you want to? Input?
I have 0 hunting and 0 awe, so it is straight up survival for
all
me.
right.
So we've got if I let me make sure I understand everybody's plan here. So Paladin, you're going to throw biscuits at the dog and run for the ferry. Rory, you're gonna just run for the ferry. Basil, you're gonna run for the ferry. Bella, you're gonna run from the ferry, and Lobelia, you're gonna stay and try to intimidate the devil dog.
Well, I don't have any ability to roll athletics, so it seems like I can't run.
Oh, your athletics are a little bit low. Gotcha. Okay.
No
Yeah, that makes
favored.
it tough.
Well, I don't think we should
Yeah.
leave anybody behind though.
No. I'll throw them and then hang back as well.
Okay. Okay. So Lobelia, you could do we'll let you do an awe check and an athletics just in case you can, the athletics. Because if you do get if you have nothing in athletics, you still always get to roll that 12-sided feet die. And if you by chance get the Gandalf rune, then that is an auto success no matter what.
Yeah.
So
The
let's
problem
do
is
it.
my TN's 16, so I have 1 out of 12 that I'll be successful.
Yeah, you got a 1 in 12 chance.
Yeah.
But you do
All
get
right.
the Gandalf rune, right?
Well,
your,
that's only
miracle.
all of the numbers. So that is my 1 out of 12 chance.
All right, so let's go ahead and start with Paladin, since you're going to be throwing.
Yeah, I'll be throwing and then. Who is trying to intimidate it?
Lobelia, I believe.
Abelia. Okay.
I mean, if it turns out I have to, maybe it just runs towards
Just got my
the-
15.
What was that?
I just met my target number 15.
Excellent. Okay, so go ahead, Lobelia, if you want to try to do your awe as well.
I got my target number also. I rolled 16 and I got 16.
Excellent. And then Basil and Belba and Rory, go ahead and do your athletics check. Usually do
I'm
them
just
one
a
at a
mess.
time, but
I have a 2 and a 5. So I like skip it over my dress.
6.
I didn't pass my athletics check.
Yeah, I got a 5, so there's no pass.
okay. So here's what happened. And Rory, did you have any sixes or a Gandalf rune at all?
No.
Or Lobelia, did you have any sixes or okay. So you threw the biscuits at this giant dog, and Lobelia intimidated the dog because you were successful at that by saying, "You eat those biscuits, not us." Not to role play your character, but just to kind of figure out how to make this work. So you were successful at intimidating the dog, pointing down at the biscuits to have them do that, and I want to be careful. I think that's your job to role play it. And then however, your party that was trying to run, and the dog responded. The dog is like, okay, I'm going to eat these biscuits. I'm not going to chase you guys. It kind of listened to you for half a second. The rest of you just were falling over each other, trying to run away from this dog, while Paladin and Lobelia just sauntered over to the dock while you guys are picking yourselves up and brushing yourselves off and trying to retain some dignity as you catch up to them on the dock to get onto the ferry while the dog is sniffing and eating all the biscuits. Excellent.
There we go.
Okay. So you're able to get to the ferry and you're on it, and you can see that the dog is kind of just watching you and pacing back and forth as you're drifting away from the dock, making your way across the Brandywine. And it's easily 20 miles for it to try to get to the Brandywine Bridge and make it across, and you can see it darts off towards the bridge as you're making your way across the water.
Yeah. Can I roll this a little late, but can I roll to see if I got a good look at it? Or
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds good. Feel free. You can do make a good look close up. That'd probably be a scan, right?
okay. Yeah. Why did you scan? I have nothing in scan. And I can't even make my target number. So I'm rolling for a rolling for a 12. No. I didn't meet my target. I got a 9. Target number is 14.
Yeah, you use the term good look at it. Awareness would be like, did I see anything in general, right? So yeah, you saw a ferocious, large black dog that was very scary and intimidating. Something you've never seen a dog that size before.
Can I try to scan?
Rhett, yes, you can try a scan if you like.
Since we were both there.
Yeah.
Nope. I got 4.
Yeah, being that close to the dog and seeing it, I would say the adrenaline really got to you. So you probably
Yeah.
didn't see much other than fear. And so, yeah, you're all on the boat now, hanging out, trying to cross the river.
I'm gonna roll a scan too, real quick.
On the boat.
Dang it. I didn't get it. Never mind. I saw what those guys saw.
Well, I think you're busy falling over each other, falling on the
Probably.
ground. Like
Yeah.
you see a face full of grass every time.
I'm
you
gonna
look up.
scan. I'm gonna scan. Just for fun. So
You're gonna scan to see what's on the boat, or you're gonna scan to see if you can.
We're
did I
going
see it?
back in
Did I
time.
see- We're going back in time because we're reminiscing on this boat of what we saw, and I stumbled on my dress and watched you all, and I got a 9, 6, 10, and a 5, which hits my TN of 15, but way over. So please, Lord Master, tell us exactly what happened
Yeah,
in great detail.
you fell down and kind of scooted backwards so that you were facing the dog, kind of sitting on your butt and just kind of frozen, paralyzed while you were looking at the biscuit throwing and everything. And the dog was a blackness like you have never seen before, almost a smoky ashiness, and otherworldliness rather than, well, it looked like it had fur. It was very almost smoky and stiff. And its eyes were not eyes that seemed natural to you, more like embers that you would see in a fire.
Hmm. Okay, so we're dealing with a real creature, a real spirit, a real bad
Some
Mordor
shadow
thing.
creature.
Shadow creature, yeah.
So
So
it's
we need to
running 20
go.
miles around a
We,
bridge.
we need
Oh, we
we
don't
need
know where
help
it's
from
running.
someone else.
The bridge is 20 miles away for it to cross, unless it swims across the river.
It didn't appear to like the water. So you said the bridge was 20 miles away?
Yes, 20 miles to the nearest crossing.
I'm just thinking that's approximately 40 miles. If that thing is running 8 to 9 miles an hour, 5 or 6 hours from now, it's going to catch up with us if we stay on the other side. Wasn't there a house on the other side that we just came from?
There was. You're actually on the so the Buckleberry Ferry is going to take you to Buckland, which is where they're also having problems with it as well. So that was
Okay,
kind of
we'll
one of the
build a
instructions
tournament
from
about it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
I think we
How does
might
this,
need to go find a ranger.
how does this ferry work? Are we like rowing?
Yeah, you're kind of you're using the little,
Okay.
gondola kind of stick
But don't
thing.
they have like a rope that they put down on it too? That's the old-fashioned kind of ferries. Is there's this rope from wherever the
It's
top
a
the
it's a
top of
it's
it
a
is, and down, and
pretty
there's
long
like a
one.
dock. No,
Yeah,
sorry.
I would say that thank you. This is a good question, good mechanical question of how they cross the river. I really appreciate
Like,
it.
is it
It's
Mississippi
a
type? Is
yeah,
it?
it's gonna be more of using the actual the pole method.
Like a
Paddles or
gondola.
pole? Yeah.
Well,
Hmm?
it's a little like a dock, like a floating dock. So there's no boat, right? And then when you're
Hmm.
and if you're not if you're it has like two holes like that are two like metal sticks in it or yeah, and then the rope goes through it so that you can't lose the ferry, but it's only the certain amount of passengers that are on it,
Right.
and you
So it's
pull
on a track. Right.
yourselves
So you're not
over.
there's no rope up above. I like
There's
what you're
just
saying. So there's no rope up above, but it's in the water to keep it on a track, and then the pole is what you're having to use to move it.
mm, maybe I think it's above, but whatever, it's okay. I'm a dork about these things. I mean, it could be a
Details are
gondola,
important.
but is it a lake or a river?
The river.
It was a river. Yeah.
Yeah. So rivers are going downstream so fast, right? The current is going fast downstream.
Nope.
So,
It's not going fast. It's pretty still.
well, erosion. So the rope's going to be stay above because it's going to end up snapping if it's wet. So you want to have it above water and then tied to like something and then tied to the other thing. And then it have a metal on top of the. You guys haven't been on a floating dock before?
Yeah.
They're,
I know what you're talking about.
yeah, so they're a little rinky, and we definitely don't want to be moving around a lot as a group.
How long does
We
it
want to
take to get
stay,
across this river?
yeah.
Well, with the conversation that you've been having about the mechanics of how this thing works, you've actually made it to the other side.
Oh, yay.
So,
We're not gonna die in cold water.
step it was an opportunity to have a little river picnic conversation. So, after crossing the Brandywine, you dock with the ferry and tie it off, stepping onto the shore and walking toward Buckland. A Buckland watchman approaches. He carries a lantern with one hand resting on the pommel of his sheath sword with the other. Oi! Hey! You shouldn't be using the ferry at night, he says in a voice firm, which I didn't just do. Uh, let's get you to Brandy Hall. Strangers need to be escorted. There's a foulness about, and folks shouldn't be wandering at night. The master of Buckland's orders for everyone's safety. The watchman continues. There's a savage beast about, stalking the area tonight. Best to stay inside until it moves on, is the thought. So he's escorting you now to
We agree.
the master of Buckland.
Basil
We'll
yells,
follow.
I'm gonna ask him if
"Gladly."
he's seen if he's seen the beast himself.
Go ahead and do a courtesy roll. He's a little grumpy.
Okay.
I am being courteous.
So I got a 6 on one of my dice, so I'm re-rolling. Another 6. 12, 13, 14, 15. I got a 25 and my target number is 11.
There's a savage, yeah, it's some sort of, I haven't seen it with my own eyes, but it was spotted tonight in town or on the outskirts. It's some sort of massive wild dog burnt with fiery red eyes. It's been terrorizing the area. So far, it's only taken chickens, but if it doesn't leave, we'll be next. Now, keep in mind, it only took you about 30 minutes to get across the river.
So does he have weapons on him?
He just has a cudgel.
And he has armor?
No, he's just wearing normal. He's a hobbit. He's just wearing normal clothing. Has a
But he is
cudgel.
talking to the people at the. He's next. He's relaying very important information from an important person at Brandy Buck, right?
Can
He's
I ask
escorting
him
you to the Master of Buckland. Yeah.
Perfect. So he's
where
seeing it. I just did a courtesy roll. I mean, sorry. I was wondering if can we persuade him to be on our side about how we want to help protect the town, but we need more assistance, and we want to make sure that we're not a nuisance in the evening. We want to make sure that they know that we're heroes.
Yeah, that won't take a courtesy roll. He welcomes anybody who wants to try to get rid of this pest, this beast. So,
I will.
yeah, so he welcomes that.
We're not up to anything bad, sir. We're just trying to protect the same people that you're trying to protect.
Well, that's great to hear. And he takes you to he leads you up to the road to Brandy Hall, and you've kind of warmed him up a little bit that you guys are, good. So he's happy to hear that. His demeanor changes a bit, and to your surprise, the Master of Buckland, Garbaduck Brandybuck, is already pacing up and down the front walk, pipe clenched between his teeth. He leans on a heavy wooden cudgel and looks up as the light from Braddock's lantern catches his attention. "Glad to see you, lads and lasses," Garbaduck says, his voice warm as he ushers you inside. A table is spread with a hearty meal: root vegetables, mashed potatoes, gravy, butter, plenty of mead, jam, and an oversized honeyed ham on the center of the table. "If anyone is wounded," Garbaduck. "Oh, is anyone wounded?" Garbaduck asks.
No.
"Excellent. Well, that beast has been taking our chickens and our livestock. Last night, Rollo Boffin raised the alarm. He claimed he saw the beast near his property in Crick Hollow. It's only a matter of time before it harms someone." So he sits you down at the table, and you begin to enjoy the meal. And you're thanked as you've informed both the watchman, the fairy watchman gentleman, and you've told them about Farmer Maggot and Bilbo and how you've come to help out and be heroes. So he thanks you very much for that. And each of you, so you're sitting around the table enjoying this wonderful meal.
So, can I scan?
What are you looking for?
A ranger?
Oh, okay. You wouldn't need to scan for that. So if there's no rangers, you just see the Gorbaduck Brandybuck, and the Fairy Watchman is there. And by the way, here's you guys on the raft. I forgot. And then this is Gorbaduck. So this is the person hosting you. And yeah, there's no rangers. You're just hanging out with this guy and the Fairy Watchman having like I said, there's the big honey ham and all of the biscuits and cheeses and meads and whatnot.
So I'd
Yeah,
want to ask him if there's anybody else from like out of town or any other kind of mysterious stuff happening, any wizards or rangers or anything around.
No wizards around here. While we might be a little bit more adventurous than the Hobbiton hobbits, we still don't really like adventure very much. We like you if you can get rid of this dog, but we steer clear of those rangers and elves and fairy tales and children's stories.
can I ask if there's armory around?
Uh, yeah.
Do you want me to roll for that?
No, you can just ask.
All right, that's what I want to
Part
do.
of yeah, we just have a couple of cudgels. If you want some cudgels, we can give you those if you like, but we don't really have what I would call an armory.
Now, did we hear that the dog didn't like the water?
I think we just
I
saw
think
that he
that's
couldn't cross. He didn't try to cross the water.
But did it not like the water? Like, can we do like, I don't know, like maybe it would disappear if it like the Wicked Witch if it got sprayed with water.
Dissolve it with water.
Yeah. I don't know, it's crafting.
Yeah.
We could get
Yeah,
buckets.
we haven't tried it yet.
I'd like to
real
ask
quick.
him something.
Can we
Absolutely.
accept the?
Go ahead. You want to ask
Repeat.
something?
Oh no, I said, can we accept the cutlasses, the cudgels?
Yes, he has 3 cudgels, so you can he brings them over to the table and you can disperse them amongst yourselves.
I was going to ask him if are there any militia or watchmen or citizens that would be willing to stand against this beast with us?
You would be that. We're really thankful that you're here. We don't have any brave folks like you. We just tend to our own businesses.
What's a cudgel?
Now I want to a cudgel's like a little club.
Club. Okay.
And I do want to pause and check and make sure everybody does have some of their starting weapons. Like you should have like a sword or a bow on you from some of the other things. So,
Have any?
okay, if
I
you
do not.
don't have
Oh no, I have
one, we can set you up with one here really quickly. So
Can we use the ones from the training that we did that other day?
yep.
Okay.
Yes, you can. Just not somebody had armor that was really intense, and so we won't use that. But yeah, you can use the from what you had from the training.
Oh, we can. Oh, if that's so, I can have the sword and the bow from the training.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
I think we should take the
Which might
cudgel too for like throwing.
Yeah, we could do that.
you
Okay.
you could take a cudgel for throwing, and I can get the stats here on that for you. Should have them off the top of my head since I mentioned that he has that, and I do. We're gonna say that it is. Okay, so for those of you who's grabbing a cudgel? The load is 0, so there's no hit to your endurance.
Which of our combat proficiencies would we use for a cudgel? Because I have axes, bows, spears, and swords, but I don't have anything like club.
It's it's just brawling, so you would just I would say that you would be able to use we'll give you 1 proficiency in it for everybody this stage. And who would like a cudgel?
I'll take a cudgel.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Okay, so we got 2. We have 1 left. Anybody want it?
If nobody
Alright.
else wants it,
Actually,
Okay,
I have
the
them too. Everybody who's new that doesn't have things, I cannot be greedy. I'll try not to be greedy.
I think we've all got stuff, so you can take the cudgel.
all right. Well, the damage is 3 and the injury is 12. And the load is 0.
So how big is the cudgel? What does it look like?
I would say it's a little bit bigger than like what a bobby would have, but smaller than a baseball bat. So, you know, those little batons that the police officers have in England, it's going to be a little bit bigger than that. Kind of
Okay,
shaped like a
gotcha.
baseball bat, but smaller.
Okay.
All right. Well, everybody has their cudgels. Everybody has kind of had a chance to talk. There's still plenty of food at the table if anybody wants to take any. But the are thanked and the master of Buckland leaves, and so you're all just sitting at the table. He's informed you where your rooms are, which are all upstairs, and you are escorted to your rooms where everybody has their own room and everybody falls asleep with full bellies.
And we're still in the hall, right? Upstairs in the
Yeah,
hall.
you're up above. There was the full spread downstairs at the table, and then everybody went upstairs.
Okay.
Okay. So everybody's sleeping. Are we all good with that?
I'm dancing.
But
Everybody, I'm dancing.
you're dancing.
All
Yeah.
right.
Oh, and I just
Excellent.
fell asleep.
So you hear banging on the doors. Banging everywhere on the doors. Everybody's waking up. Doors are opening. There's been another attack. There's been another attack. You see Rollo Boffin, or actually you see one of the hobbits running. Rollo Boffin came running all the way from Quick Hollow to Brandy Hall, screaming that he saw the beast again. This time it was in a window, snarling. Gorbaduck is asleep, and I didn't want to wake him, so I came to you instead. He's pounding on all of your doors, and all of you are coming out and hearing this craziness. He leads you down to the parlor in Brandy Hall, where you find Rollo sitting, his hands shaking as he nurses a cup of tea. It was just stalking back and forth on the edge of my property, Rollo says, his voice trembling, smoldering like smoke with those fiery eyes. Gorbaduck, who has been quietly listening, steps forward. We must keep the watchman here to protect us. Since you have the most experience in handling these kinds of affairs, we ask you to investigate and help us as you have promised. I give thanks to all of you for what you are doing. And he ushers you out quite forcefully to start moving you through the
Wait,
hall.
I'm going to resist a bit and then turn around and say, before we go, we need a bucket of water.
He walks over to the table that's still filled with food and finds some water for you and starts to pour it from some of the glasses into a bucket, and he gives you a bucket of water. Anything else you'd like to do?
So yeah.
All right.
I cry out quite intensely. Wait, biscuits! We need biscuits!
Excellent. So you grab a bunch of biscuits up. Anything else that you want? There's still a good chunk of the honey ham left, and there's still some jam, and there's still a
Yep.
little tankard of mead.
I'm grabbing it all.
Yeah.
Like,
For sure.
Same.
Grabbing it
in the
all.
bag.
Mhm.
Okay, so you're throwing it all in a bag.
I want to
It's
put
very
some honey
hobbit.
ham
And the
You're gonna put some money in the umbrella. All right.
umbrella. I also think maybe like some kind of cloth so that we could whip it towards them and not just like use a bunch of water and maybe miss, right?
yeah.
Maybe like something that we could spray, but there's no spray bottles. So like water and just
Yeah,
mist
definitely.
him.
Hmm.
And what
Okay,
about a
so I
little
want that.
fire pitchfork, a pitch, like a torch fire thing? I mean,
Yeah, some light
Maybe
may
it's
be helpful.
Yeah.
I think we all
Yeah.
should get torches before we run out into the darkness.
mhm.
Excellent.
Lantern.
Okay, so you all grab a bunch of food. You're throwing food into your umbrellas. Basil had led, he's just got his couple of biscuits, but the rest of you went animalistic and primitive and grabbed just tons of food. So you're just eating your biscuit, looking at them, going, "Wow." Um,
It helps me with my nerves.
Lobelia's shoving ham into her umbrella, and you grab a tablecloth. Gorbaduck is speechless. You've just taken over. You've taken the tablecloth for your towel type of thing, and you're grabbing lanterns and torches off the wall as you head out the door to head down the walk. And with that, we'll take a little pause so everybody can just take like a 15 minute, and we'll come back at 7:45. Leave your
Okay.
cameras on, please, because everything goes haywire on this side.
Oh.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh. All right, about a minute left. I know we had just gotten going, but it took so long to get going that we'd already been kind of hanging out for a little while, so it was time for a break. That happens sometimes. Yeah, I think everybody's coming back in. We just need Belba and Lobelia.
Rory is returning.
Rory is
Sorry.
returning.
Have an ale, but it's
Yeah.
no
I'm
ale.
listening. I'm listening. I'm just grabbing a cup of tea.
Okay. And do we have a Belba? Is Belba on her way?
Looks like.
Oh, that's it.
Okay.
Belba's not feeling good, so she's been a good sport. She's just grabbing some water. She kind of was getting a cold.
Yeah, your video froze again.
Excellent. I was hoping for that.
Sorry, I'm fighting a fever, so I needed water.
Right. I appreciate everybody's patience while we work different things out.
Technical issues happen. And you
Yes, they
return.
do. All right. So you guys were walking down the path. Everybody's back. After a brief walk, you arrive at Crick Hollow, a few miles away. Rollo's house shows little damage. Now it is still dark out because it's the early morning hours. People are not awake yet.
Hmm.
And
I'm assuming we're each holding a torch.
yes, you're each holding torches, carrying lots of food. Hams are in umbrellas. I believe, Basil, are you still munching on a biscuit?
Yep, just for good measure.
For good measure. Excellent.
I mean, second dinner.
Midnight snack.
Mhm.
Pre-breakfast.
Proceed the other two.
After breakfast.
In good Hobbit fashion, we can talk about food all day long.
Of course.
Yeah.
That is the Hobbit way. So you get to Rollo's house and it shows little damage, but you do see signs of the beasts passing by there are clear. There's trampled flower beds, bark stripped from trees as if by animal claws, and great gouges in the rear door as you're investigating around.
Is there anybody outside the house? Is this person awake?
He's the one that was running up to the where you guys were staying. screaming and shouting that the beast was at his
Yeah.
house.
What was his name?
So I believe it was Rollo.
Rillo or Willow?
Rollo.
Rollo. Okay.
Rollo Boffin.
So, I was thinking that maybe we should be going on the rooftops because I don't want to be stuck face to face with this until we know where it is. What do you guys think?
I'd like to maybe scan for any tracks.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give it a scan.
Yeah. Well, where are you searching for tracks or signs of the creature?
Probably just around the house.
Okay.
Mhm.
I was thinking about going up on the roof and seeing if there's any signs up there, or if I can see.
Oh, yeah. We can split it. We can split it up. I can take the ground and someone can take the roof.
I'm ready to go up the roof, I think. But I'm not super strong either, so I'm gonna just do it until I can't.
I'm gonna say
Okay.
there's actually Rollo was doing a little project on his house. There was actually a ladder that you can climb up to just
Oh.
easily get up on the roof.
Okay,
No,
great.
no checks are needed for that. You can get up there and scan from the roof, and you have somebody wanting to
Okay.
scan from the ground. So who
Are
is
you coming
scanning
with me?
first?
I don't think anybody should be left alone, so I'll stay with who who wanted to stay on the ground?
Basil.
Rory?
Basil.
Basil would.
Basil.
I'll stay on the ground with Basil and scan as well.
And then
wanna-
Paladin and I are going up, right?
I want to talk to
Yep.
Rollo.
Great.
Rollo's all the way back at the manor that where you
Oh,
guys
he
were
stayed
sleeping
there.
at.
Well,
Yeah, he
I
didn't
wanna,
come with you.
I want
He's
to
not
open
as
up,
brave as you.
I want to open up the door that the dog was clawing on. I'm curious if it was the dog going for like trying to eat a hobbit, or was there a scent, or what was attracting it to that door?
Ooh, good
Okay, so
question.
so let's set this up. So we've got Rory that's gonna go investigate the door. We have Paladin, who you're scanning around on the ground. We
No,
have
on the
Basil,
roof.
who's on the roof.
What is
So you're
it
going on the
doing?
roof. Basil, you're scanning around the ground. Let's just start there. We'll start with those types of things. And I know, Lobelia, you are pairing up with
Basil.
Wait a
Basil.
minute.
Basil.
Did someone
Okay.
give the dog any pizza?
So I'll say
No, I gave him a biscuit because he's barking at me.
Oh, he is whining like I have gold in my mouth.
Okay, so and
So
then
he's like this bone
yeah,
needs to be
I
broken
made
for
I
you
made
to go.
Hobbit biscuits for myself,
Oh,
so
good
or
boy.
anybody that wants them, they're
All
down
right.
here.
Oh my gosh. He's so
All
worried
right, so
someone's
let's
gonna take
start.
it from him.
Let's start with is it Basil? Have I been saying it wrong the entire time?
Yeah, I've just been using. I don't know if that's the British pronunciation, but I think I like using
Basil.
Basil.
Apologies. All
It
right,
is.
so Basil, go ahead and make your scan roll.
If it's a favorite skill, I use two. Do I use two feet dice?
You do, and then you get to choose the higher number of the two.
Oh, highest was a Gandalf rune.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So we've got a couple people up on the roof. Who's up on the roof right now?
Paladin is.
And
Paladin is on the
And
roof.
Bella?
Bella's on the roof. Rory, you're by the back door, and Lobelia, you are by Basil. Got it. So, you see a small trail leading towards the eastern end of the property, which disappears into a patch of the high hay. So what you have is essentially this kind of high hay, like this kind of hedge, and you see that there is a trail that is leading that way, that direction, and you see paw prints in that trail.
So is there something specific I should scan for also, or should I just ignore that since I don't need to?
You can scan if you like.
Well, yeah, I guess I'll see what else we can see. I got an 11 and
And a what?
a 3.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so I'm assuming that was, what did you need? Nope. Or so you yeah, you're basically just kind of seeing, hanging out with Basil, kind of seeing a little bit of similar kind of thing. There's just a big hedge right there with maybe a trail. But Basil, you were able to see that there's actually paw prints heading
Go for it.
to and from the trail.
Yeah, and I do decide to whisper that to is it Lobelia? Share that information. Yeah, I whisper it because I don't know if the creature may still be around.
Cute.
So
I love that.
are the pops heading towards the east where the trail is going out of the grass? Or, I mean, which direction are the paw prints?
To
Is that
and
something
from.
Okay, so it shows that the paw prints coming to the house and it shows the paw prints heading away from the house.
Yes. So this is a
Okay.
traversed trail.
Okay. So I think we should probably head inside, like Rory was saying. See what's inside.
Okay. Was everybody else think? Rory is by the door right
Well,
now.
we
So
don't know this information, so
So
No,
can I,
I don't
is the
know.
door unlocked?
And
Can
I did it.
open
I wanted to do a scan up at
yeah,
the top of the roof.
yeah.
Okay.
For my
Okay.
scan, I rolled a 12 on
Oh,
my 12
great.
side dice.
Okay,
What
so
were you?
for
I
you,
have
you
a lot too.
I gotta do
But-
yeah, let me do Paladin and we'll do Belba.
We're just so
Yes.
excited. Paladin, what's your TN? I'm just wanting to know what 12 means.
So Paladin, what did you roll again?
I rolled a 12 on my 12 side dice.
Gotcha. So you got a Gandalf rune, which is a auto success. And from the roof, you're able to look around and you can see some other houses and you see the main causeway between the little road between the houses. But your attention's drawn very much to Basil and Lobelia, and you're noticing that trail as well. And from your vantage point, you can see the trail goes out into the woods.
Now, is that
Oh.
is there any deviation? Like, is there any weaving in the path, or is it just a straight line of prints or up through the
You don't
not
necessarily see
print,
the
but
prints from where you're.
the foliage is being broken down,
Yeah, from what
worn
you can
down?
tell, it looks from what you can see, it is straight. But then you start to see trees and you lose sight of the trail, but you can see it going straight into these trees.
Okay, so it wasn't stalking around and it was a straight path.
Very similar narrative. We're not getting
Yeah.
much more on the roof.
Yeah.
We just know it's in the woods. I rolled really well too. So, is there any
Is
more?
it Bella or
What'd you
Belba?
roll?
Belba.
Belba. Yeah, did Belba see something different than what Paladin saw?
We haven't heard what her number was.
I would
Or the 12?
I would say that, yeah, she rolled a 12, and I think that they just have a great view up there of kind of the area. You saw exactly what Paladin saw, but it is an excellent view, aerial view down into this straight trail that's heading off into the woods.
I don't even like being on roofs. What was this idea?
You're not afraid of heights, are you?
I mean,
This is
yes, I
great.
am now.
So I'm gonna
Yeah.
try to open the door. Do I smell anything?
No, you don't necessarily smell anything out of the ordinary, and the door is open, so it's not locked. These hobbits are very trusting, and you're able to walk in if you like.
Yeah, I'll walk in. Walk in, kind of
Okay,
look
so
around.
you walk in and you see a normal hobbit home. There's no real disarray. Straight ahead is a hallway that straight ahead opens up into a living room, and to the right there's a charming, small, comfortable little kitchenette, and to the left there's a little bedroom. Rory's a little bit messy, but he's clean enough for a hobbit.
Okay, I don't know if there's any sense in searching anymore. There's nothing obvious that is jumping out as to a reason why the wolf or dog or whatever it is would have come here. So
Rory believed that the dog was after him.
I was after him.
Hmm.
Maybe you should scan to see if there's anything in there that, like bandages or,
Oh, riddle.
weapon.
Could be. Sorry, I didn't
No.
mean to be weird.
Yeah, I might look around, see if there's anything else that catches my eye.
Yeah, you could do a scan roll if you like for
Okay.
detail.
Okay, I rolled a 7 and a 1, and that's not enough for my TN.
Yeah, it's a little dark in the house. I mean, you do have your torch, so you're kind of moving around, but you're not wanting to burn anything, obviously, and you're not seeing anything of consequence.
Okay, I'll probably just walk out then. Join the others.
All right. I think everybody had their
I'm kind
rolls.
of really scared of this dog thing. It's demonic and things. I feel like, is there some kind of like hobbit like totem that I'm able to construct?
A hobbit totem.
That's, something that Gandalf told us that we should do if there's any shadow creatures around that I can just attempt to fiddle with the hay.
You could roll a craft
Okay.
if you like.
Well,
It's always seemed to
It's
cheer me
amazing.
up.
It was like the hay was too soft. It kind of just disintegrated.
Yeah, so what did you roll?
An 8, and I need a 15.
Okay. Yeah, so no eyes or anything.
No, but I could keep
Okay.
trying because I'm quite
I
trying
think
not to be nervous.
we'll let you have one try right now, maybe another one later. So you have
I did it.
you
I
have
did it.
the path in front of you.
You said
Unfortunately,
try.
no,
Huh?
later. We'll do another try later. You could do
said
another one
you said
later.
I could do one right now, and then not later. Whatever.
Usually you have it's actually a
Let's go
really good
find
thing
this
to bring up.
dog. I'm
Usually you
sick of
have
being scared.
one, yeah, usually you have like one try per
Yeah.
kind of area, and then another try in
Obviously, I
another
have to
area.
have the strength within. Let's go into the woods.
So what
Who
everybody
wants to
wants to
join
do?
me?
Well, I
Oh,
think
sorry, go for it.
well, I was just gonna say I'm pretty good at stealth, so I was kind of thinking to avoid all of us going at the same time into these woods to see what is out there. I wouldn't
idea.
mind just kind of
Well,
going and
Yeah.
What a handsome, strong man. Hobbit.
I vote
Oh,
we all go inside of the house, bar it up, and sleep until daylight and see if anything else happens.
What if it's sleeping in daylight? Where would it sleep?
well, yeah.
Middle of the night, we're exhausted. I'll make a pot of tea. I'll roll for a pot of tea.
Well, first I'm gonna come off the roof and share with everybody what I saw on the roof and compare notes, just so
Okay.
we all the characters know what the players know.
I think
Do I need
Basil says Basil says
Sorry?
Basil says that oh, I think that sounds like a splendid idea. I think reconvene and um strengthen up with some biscuits and tea.
Yes, Basil's
Yes.
right. And Lobelia's right.
it's a good idea.
Well, I'm a little eager, so I'm gonna take Rory off to the side and say, "Okay, are you sure you want to stay? We could both go out there and do it tonight and see what we can see."
There is a sense of urgency that this beast might start
It might be
attacking
coming.
other hobbits.
Yeah. So I'm on the fence. I'm
Yeah.
I'm fond of the idea of assisting if there is something that they can see.
I mean,
But
we could split up and say, okay, have people stay here. That way, if the
The
creature
wolf
comes back,
yeah.
we'll have people here, and
okay.
then we
Are
can
there
see
any,
where this path leads.
do we have chickens at this location?
You have
Let's gather
ham in
all the
your
town's
umbrella.
chickens.
You have some ham in your umbrella and whatever food that you have taken from the table, some biscuits and some I don't know if
In
anybody
the
did
morning,
anybody
we
take
call it
mashed
a chicken
potatoes?
parade.
I know I took a little
No.
bit of everything.
And you've
Yeah,
got
Yeah.
the bucket of you got the bucket of water and the
Yep.
big tablecloth.
Yep.
And you have your
I have the
weapons.
table.
Yeah. I have the bucket of water.
We could try to make a trap. We could stay at the house and we could cook some ham so it smells and maybe like try to draw it to us. Maybe even use a hobbit as bait.
What if we put a
Okay.
put the bucket on the roof, tie a
Lobelia, you want to be
rope
the
from
bait?
the bucket handle down to a ham on the bottom, so if it goes for the ham, then the water would fall on it.
Ooh,
That could
I
work.
like this.
And just attach to the front door.
Or to the ham
Or
on the
just-
bottom. So if it starts messing with the ham and trying to eat it, hopefully it would pull the rope and then the water would fall on it, so we'd know if it had a weakness to water.
Yeah. But yeah, that might be an interesting idea. Or at the very least, cut the tablecloth into lengths to make the water whips of sorts to
Wow.
If somebody's really high in craft, then we could try to craft a trap.
I could try to craft,
Let's
but I'm
see.
not great at it.
I've got one, what do you call that, a pip?
Yeah.
I've got one pip in craft, same as
Yeah.
Paladin does. So we're kind of equal. Does anybody have more than just like one pip in
Oh.
craft?
I only
I
have
just
one
have
pip.
a 12 and a 6.
Is that what we
This
want to do?
You hear at this point you hear far off into the distance in the woods a extremely distant howl that's pretty far away.
Okay, so we gotta go find it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Did you make the tea though in this time? We'll just have a little. Happens
We've
when you do it.
discussed this. I've made tea and I'm knitting.
Oh, there we go.
Thank you, Olivia. Thank you, Olivia.
in that time, I'd also already arranged a biscuit each around the tea.
All right, let's walk and eat. Let's walk and eat.
All right, let's walk and eat.
Onward.
Well,
Onward
are
through
there
the
any-
trail.
are there any chicken coops that we can see in the general area?
No, not necessarily in the general area, but you do have your ham and you do have some of the food that you had taken.
I was actually thinking trying to find a live chicken just for the sound to
If we see one,
Yeah,
I
you
want
get the
to
wolf to come to get the wolf to
You
come
could
to us.
try a hunting roll if you want to see if you want to impersonate a live chicken sound.
That
Yeah,
sounds fun.
I might try that later.
Chicha.
Okay.
Maybe get a little closer, far
Yeah,
off.
since it sounds far off.
Yeah, we should probably go towards the sound, see what's going on.
Okay, so the path, you guys decide to head down that trail, that path where you've been seeing it, and there's hedges on either side of you. And you're on this for a little while, and you you start to get towards the end of this where it's about to go into the um, forest, and it's dipping low and it's stretching on for a little bit of a distance, and it leads to a lined gap in the hedge, ending at a set of thick iron bars. The gate has been bent and twisted, clearly the work of something from the old forest, attempting to break in.
Okay, let's go past this.
So I kind of want to pause real quick and kind of try to assess the situation here and make sure we're not walking into a trap.
Okay, would you like to do you could do a hunting or a scan roll.
Can I do an awareness?
No. Hunting or scan.
Okay, I'll
If
do
you're
hunting.
looking for traps. If you're looking
I'll
for
do hunting.
traps.
Argue with the lower master.
I'll scan.
So, you get those, and you can roll those again because they're
Oh, can I
sixes.
just keep them?
The sixes are not re-rolls.
What are those?
At least
Yeah.
they allow bonuses or upgrades. So if you pass a check, it allows you to get a little bit of a bonus or a buff. There's
Okay.
different things like piercing blows. Yeah. There are some bonuses that we haven't gotten into yet, and I haven't gotten into, so maybe we find out they're a reroll later. But from what I've seen so far in combat, there's just little helps that it does.
Okay.
So my TN is 14, and I rolled a total of 15, and 2 of those were sixes on the 6-sided die.
Nice. So, okay. So what you see is you see a few tufts of almost like a smoky black fur caught in the gate hinges. Um, it's um, when you go to touch it, it just turns to ash in your fingers. And it's clear from because of your check that it was moving into the forest at this point, and that you'll have to go into the forest and venture into the old forest to track it down.
What do we know about the old forest?
You could do a lore check.
A what check? A lore
Oh,
check?
lore check.
Lore.
I'll try a lore
Who's good
check.
at lore?
Oh,
Yeah, I
I got a bad eye.
Oh, I didn't. Oh.
Mhm.
Does that still count?
That is a 0. You could still pass if your dice pass your TN.
I only had a 12-sided dice. I'm just trying to say that I got the
Mhm.
eye, so it would tell us more about the bad things.
Anybody else
But
want
no,
to try to make a
nothing.
lore
I don't know
check?
anything.
Does anyone have lore?
Yeah, I think by default we
have
just get the one.
I don't. I just have that regular.
Yeah.
Everybody has at least one roll of
Yeah.
everything.
I was wondering if anyone had any pips or was favored for anybody.
Nah.
All right, I'll give it a
We'll
shot.
try, yeah. One of us will get to 12.
Oh no, yeah, I got a 1. I'm thirsty. I think I need an ale. I'm getting
Things
distracted.
always go better with an ale.
They do.
I can give it a try. I don't think anything's gonna happen out of it though. No, just a 9. No good.
Try to. Yeah, it's got a 6.
Yeah, so you all of you are like, we think that we know something about the Old Forest, but we don't really can't really remember. So you're talking amongst yourselves, and one of the things that you somehow remember is that the trees maybe have having some kind of battle or war with the hobbits back in the a long time ago. And there was some hedge that was created and some truce between the trees and the hobbits. And because the trees had actually were moving or something. So there's some vague ideas and rumors that you kind of remember, but you don't have, unfortunately, all of the specifics. Because
Well,
movies aren't out yet, and none of the hobbits have seen the movies in your party. Okay, so yeah, so you guys are through the old forest, and so you are as you're walking through the old forest, it doesn't immediately leap out and attack you, and you're surprised by that because it does. There's this from some of your talks, you're just a little on edge. Instead, you find yourself surrounded by a thin collection of trees, bent and gnarled, whose branches almost touch you, but not quite. And hold on, let's just do this. We'll get the little atmosphere going here. There we go. And after a brief walk through the moss-covered woods, you come to a wide bare space where no trees grow. It forms a circle, and the sunlight reaches down, unobscured by the thick canopy of trees. Beyond this, the old forest grows thick and untamed, with great roots sticking up from the ground, dipping back down again, and large trunks twisted with full leaves. There's little sign of a clear path as you move through, brushing aside twigs and underbrush. The descent into deeper parts of the forest is slow, as if the land itself is reluctant to let you in.
uh, can we scan for paw prints to make sure we're still on the right path?
Yeah, you can scan for paw prints.
Okay. I got it. 12.
Excellent. So as you're looking down at the paw prints, suddenly the horrid creature leaps from the long shadow cast by the rising sun and lunges at the nearest hero, which I'm going to need all of you to roll a 6-sided dice. Actually, roll the 12-sided dice. We'll do that one.
Oh.
So did anybody
was
get
a
an eye?
Yes.
No, but I got 2.
All right. So we have one eye. Anybody else get an eye?
Nope.
No.
Rory and I got
All
6.
right. Well, that makes sense because Lobelia is looking at the tracks. It pounces out and uh, tries to strike at you and then runs away. So what I'll need you to do is to roll your injury check. So if we remember correctly from that, that means your armor, right? If we have that right.
So is that just one 12-sided dice then, since I have no actual armor?
Yes. So if you don't have any, I think what I'll allow is, yeah,
There's a
it's going to
shirt with
be
a 1
that.
dice. There's a shirt that has 1 dice.
I got a 10.
You got it. Oh, actually, that's pretty good. So with a 10, we'll say that it just kind of scratched you a little bit and then ran off, but you're no harm, no foul. You didn't get any major damage on that. But it definitely shocked everybody in the group, seeing how close that was.
Am I infected now? Do I need
Mhm.
to eat?
No,
Uh,
but the hunt is on. So the
Just
beast has
jumping
come
right
out.
and eating people? What?
It jumped
Well, I
out.
understand.
It spooked, and then it ran. And so now the hunt is on. And with this hunt, what we'll need to do is decide who's going to be a scout, who's going to be a guide, who's going to be a hunter, who's going to be a lookout. And so with that, we have these different things that you can choose. A lookout is in charge of keeping watch, which is some of the things that we were talking about before. A scout is in charge of setting up camp or opening new trails. They usually do explore roles. A guide is in charge of decisions concerning route, rest, and supplies. And the hunter is in charge of finding food in the wild. So really what we need right now is just a a hunter and a I believe a scout at this point. So who would like to be the hunter and who would like to be the scout?
You
What's
said
a
the scout
scout?
needs to be good at explore.
Yes.
I'm oh, I'm just 2 dice versus 4.
Yeah,
And what
yeah,
scout
I'm pretty good at
need?
explore.
Is that the best that we have? Is a 12 and a
Yeah, I
6?
just have 2 pips in explore.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
not bad.
that means you have two
2
12-sided
d6s and a
dice.
d12.
Hmm.
Right.
A lot
So you're
better
the
than
best.
mine. I have no pips.
I have none either.
I just
All
have
right.
2. So I'm the second best to help.
Hunting, I have 2 pips. Does anybody have
I-
anything better than 2 for hunting?
Nope.
Not good.
Yeah.
I could be the hunter
Yeah.
then, and if you want to be the scout,
Okay.
as long as we get an ale out of this, I think we're okay with it.
There we go.
Okay. So the scout's job is to avoid getting lost, setting up camp, and opening new trails. The scout will primarily roll for explore, but in certain situations, like setting up camp, they might roll for craft or travel. So keep that in mind as a scout, and please remind me and help me out as well.
Could you
The
replace that?
hunter,
Yeah, could you
Hmm?
repeat that, please?
absolutely. The scout's job is to avoid getting lost. So you're kind of almost leading the troop, right? Setting up camp and opening new trails. The scout will primarily roll for explore. But in certain situations, like setting up camp, they might roll for craft or travel if the journey is particularly difficult. And these are actual positions that you can see that come with the game of what you do when you go on your journeys and when you end up in situations like this. So your scout's going to make sure you don't get lost. They're the one with the machete kind of going through the trail. The hunter is in charge of finding food, tracking, and setting up traps. Hunters will often roll for awareness or scan when searching for prey. If they are setting a trap, they may need to make a strength or a craft check. So who again is the scout and who is the hunter?
Well-
Paladin's the scout.
Yeah, so I was assuming the hunter would need a good hunting. So I've got 2 pips for hunting, but you didn't mention the hunting skill. So I'm really
Oh,
good at
I
awareness.
would say hunting works too, because I would agree that hunting is definitely a big one.
Okay.
That's what happens when you do a lot of notes too fast.
Yeah, I'll be the hunter then. I think that makes sense.
Excellent. So the scout, you're in the front, and you kind of go ahead of Lobelia, where you saw the beast go back out into the brambles, if you will, and it is really messy. So you're trying to essentially create a path through there. So let's go ahead and have you do a roll for that.
Okay.
An explore, your explore roll.
Are we all going with the hunter and the scout, or is the rest of us staying here?
The hunt is on, so you're all trying to get to this beast because you've seen it. It ran away, and now you're hot on the trail.
All right. So I rolled a 15. Target number is 14.
Excellent. So you find a potential way through the woods. It's not perfect, but it's clear, and you can kind of look down and sort of see a trail through the path, and you're able to see a way to make a way forward.
Do I see any prints on this trail from the creature, or
That is a good question for the hunter.
All right, so I guess we gotta check our tracks to make sure we're still on the right path
Mhm.
here. So that's a scan,
Hmm.
or is it hunting?
Hunting.
Oh, I rolled a 12 and then 2 4s.
Excellent. So you're able to definitely see imprinted paw prints heading this way. You're working with Paladin as well as you're winding the path up and moving forward, and making your way through this forest. And so you're going along this way very successfully, as you are each trying to make your way through this forest, and you're hearing, as you're moving, the trees almost moaning and creaking in ways that you haven't heard in the Shire before, because you're now in the old forest.
are we feeling any
Everybody's moving
breeze?
along.
But looking everywhere. I'm just looking up and around my shoulder and behind us, trying to keep track of your jackets, but I'm kind of
Yeah, I
lagging.
want to I want to try to look
I'm
around
leaning
at the
forward.
environment a little bit and try to determine what's happening here.
Yeah.
Can I
Can I do
draw
a
my
little?
weapon?
Yeah, you can do that. What would you like to draw?
My sword, please.
Okay, so you grab your you draw your sword out. Does anybody else want to draw weapons?
Yeah. Well, I'll have that, whatever that thing was, that club thing out.
Do you have a club?
Yeah.
These trees are alive
Whatever
though. Are they gonna think
mallet,
we're trying to chop them
the,
down?
the funny word,
Maybe.
Cudgel.
really stick.
Yeah, I'll,
Okay, so
I'll
we
draw.
have ones.
The baton, but in a better S word. What is that thing called?
yeah, cut.
I'll draw my bow.
Cudgel.
I'm already carrying the bucket of water, so I will not draw a weapon at the moment.
Yeah, I'll draw my sword.
I can
Okay.
hold the bucket if you want to hold a weapon, Paladin. Yes.
The
No.
So as you're making your way through and bracing yourselves and having your weapons out and drawn, the forest feels like it's almost oppressing and coming in on you, and the moaning is getting louder and darker and feels like it's rumbling from underneath the earth. And I'll need the entire party to take one shadow.
Oh no.
I believe they're onto something, that the forest is alive.
So the forest doesn't
So
like us, right?
let's see.
We made it intimidated. We need to put down our weapons.
Where does that go on our sheet?
You can just make a mark off to the side, because we're just, learning the game right now. So it's I think you have the starter kit that doesn't have shadow.
Yeah,
So
But
correct.
it
shadow
just
is
took fun to tell us that we had shadow.
for now. So you start learning a little bit about shadow and shadow scars and how it can make you miserable after a while, and what things can kind of trigger that. Okay, so the thick woodland
Okay.
opens so
Hey,
slightly to reveal.
before I continue,
yeah.
Can I feel any wind, or is there any breeze or anything at all to cause these trees to move?
Not
They're alive.
Yeah, there's not enough wind that it's not like you're hearing a whistling of a wind or feeling any real breeze, other than extremely light, probably less than a mile an hour of just like the lightest of breezes that doesn't correlate with what you're hearing in the trees movements and moaning that they're doing and creakings. So as you're going through, the woodland opens up ever so slightly to reveal a great thorn thicket, impossibly large and twisted. Beneath the strangled vines, you see burning eyes, eyes that belong to the burnt beast. It comes forth as ash from darkness, its form barely distinguishable from the shadows. As it moves into view, a second pair of burning eyes appears in the bramble next to them, advancing from behind the first set of burning eyes. It's not one, but two of these beasts. They must have made this forest their home, and now they've come out to feed. But their snarls are not those of hunger alone. They are intent on protecting their lair, or perhaps devouring you. Who knows? It's battle time.
Where are they in relation to us?
They are, I would say that you might be able to get one opening volley shot off before they're on you.
Are they both ahead of us or?
Yeah, they are in front of you. As you're going through the thicket, or it's actually opened up right now, and they're coming into where you're at, 'cause you have a little bit of an opening, and they're coming into that opening, almost like a little arena in the forest. And so they're maybe 15 feet in front of you.
Okay.
So
They're throwing the water at him.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna cut.
15.
Go for
Oh,
it.
can I dip my tablecloth into the water?
Yeah,
to-
I was just gonna say I was gonna get with you and start cutting, dip the tabletop and maybe cut lengths
Yeah.
to
Do you want me to cut the lengths?
yeah, just
Do you want me
Yeah.
to roll for that, guy? Or can I just start cutting them?
I would say that the time that it would take to cut them, they'll be on you. So this is a pretty, you got about 30 seconds.
So I'm just gonna grab the tablecloth, put it in
Yeah.
the water.
yeah, definitely.
And I think I have time to do that. Well, you're still holding the bucket. You don't put it down or
Yeah.
anything.
Correct.
That's awesome. Good idea.
Yeah. I'll like try to whip it towards them if they come towards us.
I
Does
mean,
somebody?
whip it towards them or just
Or
use
just
it like a
cover
net.
'em.
Yeah, you use like a
Yeah.
net and then throw it or
Then we could start hitting him. Because his eyes will
I
be
have
covered.
an umbrella. Something with that. Can I drape it over my umbrella and shake it?
maybe.
I don't know how that. But
Well, you
Yeah,
want to get
I
the
was
most
also thinking more of
water
like throwing a wet blanket on it. So if it is smoke or fire based, it might dissipate it.
Yeah, and then
If
you
if
can
a
it
pour
large
the
sticks-
rest
mass
of
of
the
wet,
bucket of water on it while
Yeah.
it's like, like we'll cover its face so that it can't see us.
why don't I just whip it to see whether or not the water even affects it first?
What if
okay,
but
Like,
what if it runs away?
Like
Yeah.
dump it in water.
Well,
yeah,
well, we can't really control what you end up doing.
this is true.
Accuracy.
we
I don't know
have-
if this is
we
gonna
have-
work.
We have Lobelia dumping tablecloth in some water to whip it. What is everybody else doing?
Well, I'm holding the bucket for her, so
Okay,
Is it-
We
holding the
have
bucket.
weapons
Eh.
raised. I have weapons raised. I mean,
Yeah, I've got my sword in my
Mhm.
hand. I don't think I have anything to throw at it.
Somebody had a bow, didn't they?
Yeah, I have a bow,
Yeah,
so
I did.
I'm going to be taking position kind of
Okay.
behind the group to give myself some range distance.
All right, so this is how this will work out. We'll
I
have
have a bow
Lobelia.
too, actually. Maybe I should just change to my bow with you guys. Since-
You can put your sword away and bring your bow out, but that amount of time you would not be able to get a fire off yet.
Okay, then I'll just keep my never mind.
Okay.
Sorry.
Real quick is if I have a minor and a major action, then is whipping the water a minor action? Is dumping it and doing all that, is that my major action? Because I want to
I
be
would say-
able to use.
I would say dunking it in and getting it wet's your minor one, and then going to whip it's your major one because that's your attack.
I could
Okay,
help
gotcha.
you instead if you think you're a better
Mm.
fighter. Bilia.
Yeah, I'm not, yeah, I mean, however, I think that I'm carrying the tablecloth because I grabbed it, but I don't remember. I think I am the one that holds it. So if,
I
I don't
th-
know if I have time to.
I think the way this will work out is we're gonna have Basil go first because he has the opening volley. That what you have is would be I consider maybe a spear, so it's gonna be more close quarter combat for everybody else. So Basil, would you like to? Oh wait, you're trying to whip the water, not necessarily hit it with the tablecloth, right?
I want to
Okay,
see if it like it makes the dog like whine or something if it
excellent.
gets hit
Okay,
with
yeah,
water.
go
Water
ahead.
idea.
You can go ahead and go first then, and then Basil, you'll shoot your arrow off because you guys are testing to see what this water does.
Nice.
What would you
All right, so
like to roll
you're
to
gonna
do that?
do a spear. Is gonna be the check for that.
I don't have anything in spears.
So you would roll a 12,
Just
12-sided
one
dice,
12-sided.
and
And
try to
I'm
beat
going
your strength.
8, and my strength is 16, so I miss.
Yeah, so you're able to dunk it in the water and kind of spray it out, but the dog is too far away and it just doesn't really get hit by any of the water. So Basil, you want to try your bow?
Yep. Ooh.
We should have done that in the opposite order, because if he hits it, it's gonna run towards us.
Potentially.
I got a 4, so that's not a pass.
That's so with a 12-sided dice and some pips, you got a total of 4.
Yeah. Well, no. Hold on. Is the 1 the I?
No,
11.
11.
Is the one on your D6 or your D12?
D12.
There's like a little pitchfork looking thing. It's kind of like
Oh, okay. I think I got a 7. Sorry. 7. I got 10, but I still didn't pass.
Okay, so arrow goes zinging
Sorry,
past the
were you
dog.
asking if the 12 was the will of the west or if the I was the will of the west? Like
Oh, it's
one.
because I got this number, which
Oh, gotcha.
Oh,
I wasn't sure if it was a 1. I thought it
It
was a
doesn't
1.
look like a number. I agree.
Yeah, and I crossed
Gotcha.
all my 7, so it's like I get confused.
it's an L.
You lose.
Oh, makes
Okay, and
sense.
so now it's close combat turn. So the dogs are getting closer. They're close enough for those with swords that want to attack, which would be, I believe, we've got
I have a sword out.
you just did the whip with the water, and so we're gonna do the sword, and then we'll do another round after that. So we've got Belba, and we've got
I have a
is it Rory?
satchel.
Yeah, I've got a sword.
All right, so let's go ahead and do Belba first, and then we'll do Rory.
So when I with a spatula, it's still the sword rolled.
Oh, you don't have a sword. I thought you had a sword.
Since you thought that I have a sword, I should just shut up. Right? Like,
Yeah.
to be perfectly honest, I've been saying I've had the
cudgel.
police baton special.
Oh, you have a cudgel. Okay, yeah, you can use the cudgel.
Cudgel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep, go ahead.
And that's the sword roll still, right?
Yes, that's going to be a sword roll.
Perfect.
I
That's
see
most
the
dice I
confusion
have.
there. Okay,
And the
gotcha.
load helps me,
Why wouldn't it be a club roll?
right?
Well, we have axes, bows, spears, and swords that it would go into. Those are the
Yeah,
three.
there's no club option.
I did really great. I
Oh,
have
okay.
a 10.
For the
Sorry.
combat proficiencies.
Because my sword is 2 6-sided dice, right?
Mhm.
Sorry, if I have 2 pips in there, it's 6-sided dice and 2 12-sided dice, right?
For your combat proficiency, you would get one 12-sided dice, and if you have two pips, then you'd get two 6-sided dice. You can't be ill-favored or favored in your combat proficiencies.
Okay, great. Um, so I botched that really quickly. That's cool. Ah, oh, thank God it's a 7. The 7 looks like a 1 to me. All right, so all right, I have a 7 and a 5. Sorry, 10, so 17, and my Harry. Sorry, am I supposed? Oh, we were doing this last night again. Sorry, so I have a TN of 15. So, and then I have a 17 total roll. And
Yeah.
then,
There we go.
Yeah.
So you
So you hit.
yeah,
Woohoo!
okay.
Excellent.
target number.
All right, so you're able to hit the dog right across its snout, and then what was the injury or the damage on that cudgel? What is
You
that?
have the data on
3.
that. 3.
3 damage.
3
Damage
damage,
is
thank you.
3 in
Okay. And Rory, it's your turn.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, 11-0, right? I rolled an 11 on my 12-sided die. That's a 0.
That is a 0.
So I rolled a total of 8 then, and my TN is 14.
All right, so you unfortunately missed, and now it is the beast's turn. So, since Belba just left, we're gonna have the first beast attack you, Rory. What is your parry?
17.
Okay. So the beast leaps at you and slashes at your arm, really bruising you up a bit and knocking you back and falling you down. It hit you. So you've fallen back down on the ground and it hit. So you're gonna take 5 endurance damage. So your endurance goes down by 5. And Belba, because you're up close with a sword, the next beast is going to attack you.
So I'm ready. What happens to me?
What is your parry?
17.
So the other beast coming at you and stalking towards you is distracted by its partner's display with Rory. And it swipes at you, but it's just very impressed by what has just happened to Rory with the other beast and how it knocked him off to the side. But the dog is upon you, but did not actually harm you. And with that, we now. So the beasts are stalking around everybody. Everybody's getting ready to try their next move is for the next round of combat. But suddenly a voice rises from the depths of the forest, and the black beasts draw back. Dancing as if at a spring festival, you see a figure merrily skipping in yellow boots and a big blue jacket, taller than a hobbit, but not quite as tall as a man. His face sports a careful smile, and he sweeps his great floppy hat and a bow to you, and then bows again to the two beasts. Rising again, he replaces his hat and straightens his blue jacket. Hey ho, to and fro, fireworks, little dogs, and hungry owls, gossip a calling, hungry squirrels, and like. Tell the deeds of little folk, and here comes Tom to those who are nice in the forest, where black dogs are the sorest. Go now, silly pups, cast away your ire. Hobbits only hope to help. Come now, little dogs, no need to be so dire. At this, the burnt beasts flee from his presence, retreating into the shadowy depths of the forest. Tom turns his attention to you, smiling widely and seemingly unconcerned about the beasts that had just fled. Well, tally ho, to my home we must go, little shirelings, for a bit of tea, a muffin or two, and we'll pour some wisdom for you. Tom leads you to his cozy little home, not much different from a hobbit hole, though much larger. Around a fire, he sits you down with tea and begins to speak. Ho now, my little hobbits, come close, come near, listen well. Long ago, lords of men lived in the Barrow Downs, noble and proud, with hounds faithful by their sides. But war came, a terrible war, with fire and ruin. The lords fell, and so too their hounds, faithful to the end. When the dark spirits crept in after, they twisted the hounds, turning them into shadows of what they once were. Fierce they are now, yes, but not wholly wicked, I don't think. There's a spark of their old lives still left in them, deep in their hearts. Tom tilts his head thoughtfully, looking at you. Peace might be given to them, if you've got the courage and the kindness. Their curse would be lifted, oh yes, if the right deeds are done. Fine companions they could be once more. What say you, little folk? Will you try? Oh, the joy of seeing little tails wag once more.
We just have to
Yes,
sing.
I would try.
Oh, now, little folk, listen close. Those beasts, twisted though they are, might yet be called back to their true natures with a song that I can teach you, but they must be given proper names, true names from gentle hearts, names that can heal what shadow has broken. If you sing them a song, a lullaby, the beasts will be willing to hear their names and accept them. Tom attempts to teach the hobbits a song. Each hobbit can make Oh, so you can make I need each of you to do a song, lore, or in Hearten to try to learn it.
Song,
I'm doing a song.
lore,
I'm gonna do song too.
song, lore, or what?
In Hearten.
In Hearten,
No,
in
I'm-
Hearten.
I'm rolling for song.
Excited. I never can
Song
sing.
as well.
Mhm.
It's
Song.
my best attribute, and I can never make it happen.
I did not make my TN. Oh, wait, but I have 2 pips. And so I rolled 2 6-sided dice, and one of them was a 6.
It will
So-
only the sixes only matter if you actually hit your number.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
Yeah, I just hit my target number of 15.
Okay, so we have one singer.
I did not hit my TN.
Oh man, missed mine by 1.
All right, so we have one singer, and this is an instance where we can do another try. So Tom walks around, he's very happy with
Has everyone rolled?
I think so, yeah. Everybody has rolled. Paladin is the only one who has passed. So Tom goes and grabs a tea and he sprinkles a little honey in it and he gives it to those who have not been able to learn the song yet. He's like, "All right, drink the tea and try again." So everybody who has not passed can try one more time.
Okay, great.
Well, I only get 2 pips, and my TN is, so even if I rolled 2 6s, then I still wouldn't make it.
You always get a 12-sided dice too, always.
For some
Well,
reason, my
in the
table
song-
and everything's just not working.
For everything you always get a 12-sided dice. If there's a little mark on the left-hand side, that means you get to roll 2 12-sided dice and pick the higher number. But no matter what, you always get to roll a 12-sided dice.
Oh my gosh. I, for some reason, have missed that this entire time. I got a 12.
Oh, you
Yeah.
you made Tom
I
smile
got
from ear to ear at how well you just picked up the song so quickly. And then Belba, did you pass?
No.
Okay. And then how about Basil?
Oh, say I got the same number, 15. I'm a
Okay.
16
And
then.
Rory?
I didn't pass. I think I'm still hurt from that dog attacking me.
Yeah, the rolling the
Tom
1 on the 12 side die didn't help either.
Yeah.
Tom walks over to his fire and he stokes it and he hums the song a little bit more and hums it and hums it. And he says, "Try once more. Once more, little hobbits."
Yay. No. Got it.
Yeah, I know.
I got it this time.
I got it. And then I
The
happened.
eye's fine as long as you pass. The eye doesn't is not an auto fail. That's only when you become
Then you-
miserable.
Okay, great. Well then, um, I got a 4 and a 2 equaling 16, and my TN was 15. So yay.
Excellent.
Right on.
The eye for you just means 0. That's it.
Oh, Tom Bombadils,
Okay.
a lovely fellow.
So we've got who are my singers?
Paladin,
Rory.
Rory.
And me.
And
Me.
Belba and Basil, you got another 15, 3 in a row.
This no, I got a 10 this time, It's I just
Getting
can't
worse.
just can't quite get the song, I'm actually starting to think about my biscuits.
It's all the biscuits that's making your throat dry for singing. So Tom teaches you the song, and 3 is enough, he says, for you to be able to sing the song while others keep the dogs at bay so that the song can finally be learned and you can give them proper names. Does anybody have questions for Tom?
What kind of proper names do we choose? Can we make them
Ones
up,
that
or do we
ones
have
that
to?
you ones that you think fit them. Good
Oh,
names
okay.
for good pups.
Oh, we're naming the dogs?
Do we get to name them
When
now?
you first must get, as he had mentioned, you first must sing them into a lullaby so that they're open hearts to hear the names that you would like to give them.
Oh.
All
Yeah.
right.
Does he know more information about the why the shadows took over the dogs?
It was mostly so there was a war that had happened and a lot of the kings were killed by the wars and they were put into the Barrow Downs, which wasn't necessarily evil at the time. They were buried there. And then what happened is the whites came in where their dead bodies were buried and the hounds were buried with them. And the whites essentially turned them evil and created that's where you get the Barrow Whites and you get the Barrow Downs being an actual evil place. And so they're not so much as evil as they are cursed, and they have been uh, changed by sorcery and dark magic.
Okay.
I want to ask Tom about the trees. Like it seemed like they were moving and they were like kind of against us. Like what's going on with that? Do we need to be concerned with the trees?
That's a good question. That's actually a fun thing. So let me go to some of the tree information because that's interesting stuff. If everybody has a second for me to find it. So Tom tells you that the old forest is alive and it dislikes visitors. And if you look close enough, you might see that some of them are talking to each other and even move. He acts a little mysterious and walks over to his cooking table with bread. Would you like to do a courtesy check to try to get more info?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Yeah. I do that as well.
Okay, so I didn't I rolled a 10 and my teen is 13.
I'll roll a courtesy check.
Excellent.
Did either of you guys make it? Do you want me to roll for a courtesy?
Yeah, I got it. I got my target
Okay.
number.
He turns around charmed and talks about the dispute that the hobbits had with the old forest and found it quite cute that they had their own little land war without drawing sword but just planting hedges, and he thought that that was quite wonderful way to have battles by planting and not destroying, and how the hobbits had pushed the trees back from going into the Shire. And he also has says, yes, you may have heard of a spirit that protects the old forest, and that spirit would be me. And so with that, he bids you all a good night and allows you to sleep in his place for a little bit to kind of catch a couple of winks before you head back out. And so the next morning, which isn't too far away, by the way, because you guys have been up since pretty early and walking through the old forest, and so you walk outside and you spot Goldberry, Tom's wife. She's watering plants and singing songs. She notices that you're greeting them, and she smiles. Tom has gone to collect river lilies. Ah, the beasts are still in the thicket where they were last night, causing such a ruckus. They've not yet calmed. Upon returning to the thicket, you spot the two beasts, restless and snarling with evil in their eyes. The beasts begin to stalk toward you. In it being daylight, you notice that they're not quite as aggressive as they were at night. Code for now, they have an ill-favored role. So what you'll want to do in this situation is you're going to need to have the people that are singing the songs protected. So we'll need somebody that is we need people who want to kind of combat and maybe take damage and try to give damage while the other people are trying to sing the songs.
Can
And
I
we'll
put
need
away my
put away
Can
what?
I put away my wet tablecloth?
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna put
you
that.
could have that put away. Yeah, that was last night. So who were the singers again?
At
One
least
singer.
Paladin, Rory,
Yeah,
and
Rory.
yep.
And Belba.
Paladin, Rory, and Belba. So that would leave Basil and Lobelia to be kind
Yeah.
of.
I think Lobelia was a singer as well, or she made the role.
I have the least amount of singing, actually, like only 3 dice, so I could be a defender too.
Yeah, just because you were good at singing doesn't mean you need to sing. We need at least
I'll
probably
pretend.
2 people singing
Oh wait,
that
what
learned the
is?
song.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, I'll use my sword this time.
Brad, thing. So there.
Oh, wait.
well, I'm
So
gonna
who
sing.
you're gonna sing? Okay. So we got Paladin singing. Who's my other singer?
I'll sing too.
Me.
Or Billy can sing. I'll be up front with my
Okay,
sword.
so Lobelia and Paladin are singing. Everybody else is kind of up front protecting them. Do I have that right?
I thought we needed 3 singers.
No, you have 3 singers, and we need at least 2. But you can have all 3 people singing if the other party members want to protect while all 3 people are singing. And what we're looking for is 3 successful song rolls. And so it's up to you if you want to protect 2 or protect 3.
I think we
Comes
should
down
have
to
3
odds.
singers.
2. Oh, you have 3 singers? So we get it done faster or we get hurt more?
so that we get it done faster.
That's a good idea.
Even though we might
Just the one
die because
round,
we're really
maybe.
weak. It leaves it, I think it should be even because then it's better for our, I mean, I don't want to leave one person fighting for all of us.
Well, there would be, you could have 2 people fighting with 3 people singing, or you could have 3 people fighting with 2 people singing.
And Belva, do you know the song?
Yeah, I'll sing. Sure. Sounds
So
good.
Basil and I then will be up front.
All right, so
I
you
think
good with that,
there's
Basil?
better odds.
So
Yeah,
3
I think there's
singers.
better odds having 3
2.
singers than 2, and they are at a disadvantaged role, so I think we can
Mhm.
handle.
Okay, great. Good.
Yeah.
Well then,
All right, so start with the opening volley of song. So if the singers want to try singing first.
oh, I did well.
Okay.
I did well.
Oh no,
I
got an Eye of Sauron.
and I got a
That's
well of the
okay.
west.
It's not, the Eye of Sauron is not an automatic miss.
It is.
It's just a
Only
0.
have a
It's just a 0.
All right, so I got.
So you got a
I
7.
met my
okay?
target number.
All right. So what did you get, Belba? You got
Actually, I didn't. Well, I got a 6, 10, with the 6 with the T, and then so actually I only have 8 plus a will of the west.
So did you
the
meet
Will
your
of the
target
West is
number?
yeah, the Will of the West is an automatic success. So you
Perfect.
automatically
Then
succeed with the Will of the West, and you got a 6. And then Paladin, what did you get?
I met my target number of 15.
Excellent. So that's a great, beautiful singing, and you're both in harmony and just singing, and you're getting the dog's attention. They're kind of a little bit confused, and Belba just steps out front, like a soloist at in the symphony, and stares at one dog and really just belts out Tom's song, and the dog just lays down quietly and starts to fall asleep. So you have one dog left to deal with that is now coming towards you. So it is up to Rory and Basil to defend.
Okay, so I'll step out in front of Belva so she doesn't get attacked. I don't think I'm gonna attack though. I mean, we're not trying to kill these dogs now.
You could just stand there if you like, and they will attack you though.
Well, can I do some sort of attack to try to stun it so that it doesn't attack me? Is that an option?
Block.
Do you have a
Oh, what?
so my
cool.
sword has a special feature where it bends off.
Oh yeah, good point.
You
I just wrote mine in.
could
I don't have all those details, but that's an
let's do
option.
this. Let's do this. Why don't you do a battle roll? And on a success of a battle roll, when it attacks you, I'll give you I'm guessing you don't have any armor.
Yeah, I don't have any armor.
So we'll give you 2 armor on a successful battle roll. So you're trying to defend up a little bit.
Okay. So I rolled one of my 6-sided die, I rolled a 6. The other one's a 4, and then an 8 on my 12-sided. So total of 18, which is well above my TN.
Okay, so when it goes to attack you, if it does attack you, then you will have 2 armor to help protect you.
Okay.
All right, so Basil, you're up.
Would I normally roll with this one? I was doing this one.
You're muted.
Am I just doing a battle roll as well?
You do you.
Well, I don't really. I'm kind of taken to heart what Thomas said, so I don't really want to hurt them, but I do want to defend the singers. So I'm kind of preparing to fend off their attacks, but at the same time, I'm kind of just kind of sweet talking them, saying, nice doggy, we don't want to hurt you.
Oh,
You do, did you guys eat the hams?
no.
Not yet.
They're rotting in our bags by now, those day and a half old.
You have some day and a half old ham.
It's ham jerky.
Ham jerky.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
fun.
so you're trying to be nice. Why don't you try a courtesy roll if you want to try to do that, just to try to distract him a little bit, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, practice with, I got 17 and I got a 10 war.
Nice. So yeah, you did an excellent job calming the dog down a little bit and maybe throwing some of the food that you had left in your pockets at it and distracting it. So it actually is not going to attack this round, while Rory is just ready for the world to end and protecting himself.
Right on, Basil.
So it is now
But
the
the
singer's
real
turn
question
again.
is, did the dogs go for the biscuits or did Basil have any left?
Basil, what's the story?
Yeah, there are still enough. There's enough biscuits for maybe another second breakfast. That's about it.
Okay, I mean, this is important. I mean, sure you could throw the ham, okay, but the biscuits, we need our biscuits.
Well, I decided to start with the ham. The biscuits, only in life or death situation, in the most dire of need.
Which, I mean, this wasn't even close to life or death, so biscuits are off the table.
Yeah. Old ham's good.
Love it. So oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if I rolled first, do you want me to roll for another song now?
Yeah, we're gonna do another song check. So the dogs are munching on one dog is munching on the hand, the other one's just almost purring like a cat because the song was so good. So yeah, let's do some more song checks.
I got a 12. I got a Will of the West.
Amazing. All right, so we got two other song rollers to
I
roll.
got Paladin got 16, target number 15.
Excellent. And then Belba?
Not so good this time. Under my TN.
Excellent.
Oh no.
So we just needed another success. We got 2, which was great, and we got a Will of the West. So the singers come out, they pass Rory and just sing right into the dog's face because the song is so beautiful. And they can see the dog is just really accepting as it's eating the ham, and it starts to lay down and fall asleep. So the dogs are now kind of lullaby to sleep. What would you all like to do?
I think we need to name them now. I vote Ember.
Ember.
I like that.
Ember and what? Or just Ash?
We could call the other one Bells because Hell's Bells, or Smoky. I don't know. Somebody else should think of one.
I like Smokey.
Yeah, Rory said Ash. Ember
That's
and
good
Ash.
too.
Those are great names.
Those are both good.
Aurora, I think you're the tiebreaker, unless you have a new one to throw into the hat.
Are there 3 dogs? Or 2?
There's 2.
Oh, 2
There's only
dogs.
2.
Yeah, Ember and Ash sound nice.
All right. So, I think since
Oh, Smokey's cute though too. Oh, oops, I forgot. I got all confused. Sorry, I think that's Smokey. So Ember and Smokey. Because I don't want them to be scary dogs anymore. And Ash.
so
Ash is a little. Ember and Ash. Ember and Smokey. Oh, it's hard. It rolls off the tongue, Ember and Ash. So maybe
mhm.
that's gonna be the one. Sorry. But Smokey's so cute.
Perfect.
Do we have
Alright. We
a
could call
consensus?
We can do Smoky. It's fine.
Well, Ember and Smokey. They're gonna be running around together, right? And they're kind of now famous. So Ember and Ash is a better song.
Okay. Ember and Ash it is.
Yeah.
All
Oh,
right.
makes-
And so
Oh, yeah,
the two singers that were able to get the big feet dice rolls get to walk up to the dogs and name them. So Lobelia and Belba go up to each dog and gives the name
That was
Ember and
Rory.
Ash. Oh, it's Rory.
Yeah.
No, I didn't
Yeah,
sing.
oh,
No.
Ember.
no, it was you had the feet die on the first time, and then Lobelia had it on the second time.
Oh,
The
I
feet
see.
die.
Yeah. So you both sang really amazingly, and so you both walk up to the dogs, and because you're pretty
Oh,
close
yeah.
already, and you call out their names of Ember and Ash. And once the names are spoken, the ashen features of the burnt beast begin to fade. Ash and smoke linger in the air where they once stood, and slowly little white puppies take their place. The joyful, cheerful pups are now ready to play. The heroes can pick up the little hounds and begin the journey home, feeling that their task has been completed and their hearts lightened by the power of kindness and song. As you walk through the forest, on your way back, a strange and pleasant shift begins to take place. The trees seem brighter and the air fresher. It feels like a place where you could easily imagine enjoying a picnic on a warm afternoon. The weight of your recent adventure lifts, and the forest now seems like a sanctuary, once cursed but now renewed. Upon returning to Buckland, you are greeted by Gorbaduck, who is relieved by the outcome but looks at the puppies you hold with a skeptical eye. His doubts are evident, but he listens intently as you recount the tale of your adventures. After a restful night, you take the Buckleberry Ferry back to the Marish. You arrive at Farmer Maggot's house just in time for dinner. The farmer is hard at work, focused on rebuilding his chicken coop. However, as you greet him, something unexpected happens. The little pups, no longer the burning beasts they once were, leap from your hands and run towards Farmer Maggot, barking excitedly. They jump on him, wagging their tails, eager for attention. The farmer laughs heartily, letting the dogs play and tackle him as they cover his face with enthusiastic licks. As you approach and explain to Maggot that these are the hounds you've freed from their curse, it seems the dogs have claimed him as their new master. Maggot stands looking down at the pups with a mixture of surprise and amusement. These are those devil hounds? He says, eyes wide. Well, come on in for dinner then and tell me the whole story. Around the dinner table, you recount your adventure, and Farmer Maggot listens intently. But at one point, he pauses and asks you with a twinkle in his eyes, "Ah, so what were the names that you gave them?"
Ember and Ash.
Ember and Ash. That sounds great. That's perfect. I love it. So the following morning, Bilbo declares that he has.
So.
Uh, the following morning, Bilbo declares that he has gathered all the materials he needs for the book he's been working on for so long. With a warm smile, he thanks you for your companionship and the fun of your shared adventure. He asks if you would like to walk back to Hobbiton with him, where he promises a fine meal and perhaps a visit for Yule in his home is open to you always. And so your journey comes to a close, but the bonds of friendship formed in the forest, the names you gave the pups, and the tales you share will linger long after the last meal in Hobbiton is served. and that is the to soothe the savage beast.
Oh, you did a great job leading us.
Yay.
This guy's been
Fair enough.
barking at me the whole time. Perfect. Perfect, buddy. All right, here you go. Oh my
Okay, you
goodness.
got
Yeah, so that's the starter set. That's the end of Soothe the Savage Beast. And I want to thank you guys for letting me kind of learn, as I still have a ton to learn with this stuff and to have
Yeah.
it flow. And
Yeah, we're all learning
Yeah.
with this system.
yeah, it takes a little bit to kind of steer behind the scenes and to help out. And I think we're all learning as well, like role playing and talking in game, which is really good. So I'm curious, just like what were some of your favorite moments from the starter set, or anything that stood out to you?
Such fun storyteller. Like it's fun to problem solve and work things out.
I think this one was my favorite because we were able to have the dogs, and I was hoping that they would be our long time companions at this point, but I guess Farmer Maggot can have them.
I don't know.
Well,
I think we need to take him on an adventure.
Yeah.
you will recall hearing those dogs in the Fellowship of the Ring.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So when they're barking at Merry and Pippin, and then also Farmer Maggot is in Fellowship of the Ring. It's nighttime and the Black Rider comes up, and he's like, "No Baggins here. They're all up in Hobbiton." That's Farmer Maggot, and he's got the hound with him right there.
Yeah, in the book, Frodo is actually afraid of them because of previous encounters of him taking from Farmer Maggot's crop and encountering the scary dogs.
Well, and the thought too is that these are not. If you're familiar with the Silmarillions, Luthien had a dog named Hune or Hound, and it was huge. It was massive dog, and that these were lesser versions of the Luthien. So these are Luthien hounds, but they're still big, but they're not hound or Hune size.
Yeah, the goodest good boy.
Yeah, the goodest good boy. Um,
Yeah, going to ask him about your backstory.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask you, my character, Rory Mac Brandybuck, it says here that he is going to soon inherit the title of Master of Buckland.
mhm.
So what was that guy's name? Grandibuck? Was that his dad?
Gor Gor Gorbaduck. I
Gorbaduck.
think
Gorbaduck.
I can
Gorbaduck,
answer
Grand
that. Yeah, I actually looked up. He is, oh, I'm gonna mess this up. I had like a little family tree and I can get that. I do have a Google Drive that I shared with everybody because I've been posting so many artifacts and things into the Discord. So I now put that into a Google Drive and I'll get a family tree out there for you to answer that question.
Okay.
But Gorbaduck is, I'm gonna mess this up, but I want to say he's actually related to Frodo. And Rory, I'm not sure if Rory's in Frodo's family line or not. There's a theory too, because Frodo's parents died in a boating accident, and that it may have been, it's fan theory that it may have been Gollum that actually killed him, looking for Baggins and looking for the ring,
Hmm.
which deepens the plot of the relationship with them.
Dun, dun, dun.
So yeah, it is really interesting the tie-ins to different relationships, and I think Belba, you were playing because it's before a lot of these people are born. You were playing like a future aunt to Samwise, if I recall. And then Lobelia is obviously pretty infamous. And then Basil, did you have Basil, did you have a any kind of story of who you might be tied to, or is it just kind of your own?
It was kind of well because it was a generated character. I kind of just invented of him being kind of because I guess in his traveling gear he had like healing bombs and some woodcrafting tools, so maybe just kind of being a bit of a farmer, but also being some kind of connection to the gaffer and
Yeah.
Sam, and maybe that's how he found out about the group, about the adventuring group. So that's kind of I just made one up.
Awesome. Yeah, so the Shire is open when we go into this next adventure, and the next thing that we do is gonna be in actually creating characters using the sheets that we have that are more of the actual full-on sheets, and doing the whole backstories and building all of those out. And if you have any questions about that, I can kind of hang out after the session to talk about it, and we can kind of build those out together or separately if you want. Some of the things to think about when you're looking at your new character is like, it's just like you're acting. Like, do they have a favorite food or a favorite sea shanty, or do they have bad blood with somebody, or is there a particular arc that you want to explore? And keeping in mind that it's like a level 1 character, right? So they're not going to be some history of like being a dragon slayer that actually fought Sauron at some point. That's probably not they're level 1. They're like, I just got done doing the Sparrow Militia and I can barely hit a freaking striking dummy, right? um but yeah, creating kind of interesting stories around them is always kind of fun. And I have some stuff out there too. If you're kind of having writer's block or not having ideas, there's all these different types of backstories for elves and men and hobbits that you can kind of play around with for one that really grabs you, and you can make it your own. Is there anything, I want to take a couple of notes really quick. Is there anything that anybody's hoping or wanting to do in the next campaign? And I know some of you may bail and not be able to do the next campaign. That's fine. Just curious. Aurora had a couple, or Belba had a couple of things that she had mentioned that I thought were kind of cool. Anybody have things that they're just like, yeah, I'd really want to do this. This seems like or I really want to explore here, or this seems interesting to me.
Hmm.
I don't have any at the moment. I just want to go play in the world.
Go play.
Yeah.
I want to go fishing.
Go fishing. Okay,
Yes.
go fishing. I think what some of the stuff that came out the other day was like meeting interesting NPCs, solving mysteries and riddles, being able to know certain items that can go together to craft, almost like a video game, um, and exploring different castles and ruins were some other things that were of interest.
How
So
about a treasure hunt at some,
treasure hunt, I like
or like
that.
a puzzle,
Okay. Yeah.
I will
That'd be
tell you
cool.
right
kind of
now,
puzzle?
I'll tell you right now that the entire thing I'm building is a huge puzzle. And so, but I can't tell you, by the way, here's a hint. So almost anything that's coming out, I would say every session there's hints. And I'll try to make it at least tangible that you can go, that's probably a hint, but you'll want to take notes on certain things. Like, I'm glad that you guys picked up on the honey ham. There's a huge, juicy, mouth-watering, dog-friendly honey ham on the table. So the hints won't be as obvious, but you'll have to, yeah, for mysteries and stuff, there'll be little hints here and there that uh, should be just easily uh, uh, accessible. Are there any locations that like you have visited the Shire? Does anybody want to go back to the Shire, or you want to go to Rivendell or Moria? Like, what are some areas that you're hoping to explore?
Rivendell.
If there's still dwarves in Moria, that would be kind of cool.
At this point, what you have in Moria is the Balrog is still there. Orcs and goblins are still there. Um, at this point in time, Erebor has been reclaimed, which are making the dwarves kind of feeling confident, right? So, uh, Balin is wanting to retake Moria. He's not in retaking Moria at this point. What is happening in Moria is you have, at this stage, you have treasure hunters going in at the upper levels because they know nobody knows there's a Balrog in there. They just know something called Durin's Bane is in there. They don't know what it is, but they know it's scary and it's bad, and that the whole thing has been overrun by orcs. And so you have these bandits and treasure hunters that maybe kind of go in an adventure and try not to adventure too far in to try to find treasure and leave. And Balin is thinking about taking Moria over at some point. And this when you watch the movies and they go into that tomb, and Boromir says the line, "They have a cave troll." And that tomb there, that where Gandalf is reading the book, that coffin, that's Balin. Balin's dead. And he's the guy that was in the Hobbits that had the big long white beard. So that's who's in that tomb. Because he did
Can we
successfully to a certain degree try to take it over.
can we forge weapons with dwarves at some point?
Yes, there is the ability to work with different smiths, get different weapons, maybe even get like some blessings on weapons. It's not super high fantasy like D&D. It's more low, dark, heavy, ancient fantasy. So a good example would be like one of the strongest magical powers that Gandalf has is he brings hope to people. That's not really flashy and fireworks, right? He brings hope. That's his thing. Aragorn has a ring, the serpent ring, and what that does is that actually gives him a little bit of extra strength. That's the blessing that has. And you see Aragorn do healing, and his healing is not like a wand that I'm just going to heal you, but it's more like blessings that he gives, and he has you see him do it in the movies and in the books. It takes him a long time, but he's able to go around and actually heal people that are in the Pelennor fields. Um, but the magic is slower and subtle and heavy and powerful, but in a very tuned into nature kind of a way.
And a lot of times there's a cost to use it, right?
A lot of what's that?
A cost to use the magic sometimes. The trade-off.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Sure.
there sometimes can be trade-offs for sure. Like you could come across a ring, right? Because Gandalf said there are many rings in the world. Or you could come across an artifact of some kind, or you can come across a weapon that has a blessing, and then later you find out it makes you a little tired. But it's not right out of the gate, like you don't use the weapon, all of a sudden you start bleeding, right? It's more insidious, or it does nothing, right? It's perfectly fine to use, just like Aragorn's ring. Aragorn has a ring, and it gives him a little bit of strength, and it doesn't do any damage to him. So it's kind of like just buyer beware. Like, just like Bilbo, he had the ring for 60 years and it really didn't have an effect on him, but it kind of did slowly. And then other people have things and there's no effect because it's perfectly fine.
Can we have pets eventually, like a companion pet, like a parrot
Abs
or a monkey?
Absolutely, you can. You can have different types of companions. They're called minions, if you will, um, or steeds. You can have a donkey or a horse to help you carry things. You can, you know, there's certain things that you can do with minion type characters as well. Like if you want to put them in the line of battle, you can do that. There was an instance with a squirrel. Um, where David was going to kill the squirrel. And those instances are going to come up again. And I think my only advice is sometimes you have to eat, sometimes you have to kill stuff. And so, when you look at Aragorn and he killed the deer and he fed everybody, he did it very peacefully and respectfully. So you just have to sort of balance things because sometimes you do need to eat. And when you look at, oh man, I'm gonna mess up. I think it's Thrain. He tried to kill the white steed, and that wasn't good. He just wanted to hunt for fun, and so you want to be careful with some of that kind of stuff. So, any questions or thoughts or curiosities, or is anybody like, what is the threads of the ancient realm? Like, it's gonna be
Yeah, I guess
crazy.
a few things for me. Like, I guess first of all, I've always been kind of fascinated with the. It'll be interesting to like a lot of the ruins and stuff are kind of like this old, uh, you know, our kingdom of Arnor that has its deep lore and history and all that, which would be cool to run into and explore and learn. And also, I've always been curious of like it would be cool for us to build kind of on what the western lands would look like. So like there's
The
like
what the
all
wetlands?
western lands. So west of the Shire, you have like
Hmm.
the Blue Mountains and the dwarves that live in the Blue Mountains that have been there for ages. And then you have elven cities that are on the coast and some access to ocean. And I don't know, that there's like I
Harlow
guess
and Linden.
yeah, there's like a lot of imagination
Uh,
of just like these coastal towns, of cities, that could be really cool to think about.
I'm there with you, and there are like there's little islands too that are almost too small to see. So there's the ability to get on boats and actually go even further west if you want to, in
Mm,
this realm. And there are areas on the map that I've been working with too because it's hexagonal and each hexagon is 20 miles. And so I've been working on each of those 20-mile area to grow. I love it too, just the lore and what is happening in this area. Um, there is a lot of that. So, yeah, I'm gonna try to be close to canon, but not straight-jacketed by it.
nice.
Yeah, just because I don't have a PhD in Tolkienism. Some people do, and I'm reading some of their books, and I'm like, yikes, it's pretty intense.
My old
Oh,
professor, Amy Verdugier, had a degree in Tolkienism.
Awesome.
it's a fascinating world. Now, as you start to look at your characters, does anybody have characters that they're kind of or races that they're thinking of, or have questions about things like the Bjornings or the Druidines or the Wildermen or even the Hurons or the Southlanders? Because the way that the book is set up right now is because when you're thinking of D&D, you kind of think of like I want to be a wizard and I want to be a dark elf or whatever. Well, they do kind of have dark elves if you want to be one. I think I'm going to mess up the name, but it's like a Veliar, I think, or a Veliar type elves, and these were the elves that did not go back to Valar. They in the first age, a lot of when Morgoth left, all the elves were in Valar. I'm going to mess some of this up, but some of the elves stayed in Middle Earth. They didn't want to go. And so when there was the big push to come back to Middle Earth with Galadriel and everybody and Fëanor and his sons, and I'm butchering names, when they came back and had that whole debacle, where they killed each other and they finally got back to Middle Earth, the elves that were already here were kind of like, we don't really want anything to do with you. You guys are drama. You know? So there's these different factions of elves that are not just, some of them are very like woodland elves, they're very mysterious and can be a little bit darker. The Druidines too are a little interesting too. They have an alien kind of way of talking, and I would say that they're kind of, while they're 4 feet tall, you can work it where they could actually be a taller type druid type person if you wanted to, because there's a little bit of interpretation there that can be open one way or the other, because you could also do kind of crosses. So you could be like half elf, half hobbit. You could be half Druidine, half Bjorning. Bjornings are huge, right?
So does he even have character ideas?
Hmm.
I like the idea of being magical, like a mage. So I don't know exactly how that all fits in. I haven't fleshed any of it out, but I want to be able to do some magic.
Your people who work in magic are gonna be either the elves, right? So they're working with artifacts, ruin, and lore kind of a thing. And that's one way that they deal with it. Or you can work with the maybe a culture that's closer to the earth, so more pagan kind of magic, where it's like closer to being tied to pagan. I don't mean like it in a evil way. I mean it like in an earth way, right? Where you're tied to like things of the earth, like talking to the trees and being able to talk to bears and stuff like that. So again, or uh yeah, just being really good with lore. Men could also be tied with magic. Now, men are probably going to be a little bit more prone towards the classical sense, which can lean you almost towards dark magic sometimes. So you got to be careful there. Because they want to see the wow sort of stuff. So they're working with potions and they're working with different things that are probably a little sketchy. And when you think about magic in the sense of like, you know, Harry Potter or Fellowship of the Ring or like that, a good balance is when you see Saruman and he's making that mine, he's using gunpowder, right? And flame, which really isn't magic at all, right? But to them, it was magic and it was blowing everyone's mind. That was huge. That was crazy. It stunned everyone when that actually happened. So the magic is a little bit more, some of it is very elvish and ancient and like tied to like the wind, right? And just being in tune with the world. And some of it's just practical, like, oh, I just made a match.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
But
I'm gonna drop, but thanks for leading
all
this.
right,
We appreciate it. It's a lot of fun.
absolutely. So
Yeah,
next
thank
up, we'll
you.
just be making characters, and hit me up if you are curious about it. We'll probably kick off the threads thing in March after everybody's got their characters. If you're not interested, that's super cool. If you are interested, um, yeah, it should be pretty deep track.
So one thing I did need to ask you about, which I'm assuming everybody else has down, but I wanted to ask you how the sixes work. So what that multiplier is. So I don't know if anybody
Yeah,
wants to stay around for that. I
we'll
just
let
wanted
people
to ask
drop.
you after.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'll stick around. Thank you everybody very much. This is fun to wrap this up. It's a long night, but it was a good one.
Yeah,
Canned
it was a lot of
canned
fun.
quests are pretty much over.
Cool. Well, good
Thanks,
times.
guys. Good seeing you.
All right,
Yep.
Bye.
everyone.
Take care. Good night.
Yep. Okay, so we will
All right, Jolly.
go here.